What the fuck?
What?
Okay, we're back. Go.
Okay.
Go. You
I
got.
wish my dick
you
was
got Wonder.
5'7".
Yes. You're ever loving one. You're ever wondering wanderer. Alright.
I like how this podcast is so seriously titled.
Yes. And your cult leader, Lemonica.
It is I, Bulbamus Prime.
Yeah, the first master.
Right. And for today's topic,
It's
given the fact that it's Women's Month.
I crashed my Facebook.
Yeah, that's why we sound lazy.
No. Prior to this, we already started a riot.
We already started a riot.
Oh god.
Okay.
Anyway, the first master is here to introduce what the topic's about. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about women in the Philippines, which we could say be nice. And well, since this is Women's Month and tomorrow is actually Women's Day, and I am outside. Oh my god!
My ears.
Pardon. I'm not outside, so well.
You're
And I
outside.
also live. Well, I live.
Why the fuck are you outside? Is this
Yeah, why are you outside?
Well,
Lead
because
in.
everyone else is busy. And they have also noises in the
I-
background, so.
I see. Well, then again, I have like a busy family, but like it's around 8. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock, so they're all settled now. All right, but anyways, you did mention it's about Women's Month, right? So
Yeah.
what kind of topics can you talk about? Actually, given the fact that it is about Women's Month, I can recall a good experience from the school trying to represent the women's that made a change in history from the Philippines. You got any one of those?
Commander Liwayway.
Come on, do it.
Yeah,
Alright, and yes,
So anyway,
The
what are we gonna
Balhati-
focus on in our? We're gonna start
I mean-
with strong women in the Philippines.
Yeah,
let's start
strong
off with that one. Then
I got a couple.
yeah, then we can proceed to some problematic factors later on.
Oh no.
Just kind of like it's kind of like to make it interesting. We'll make it first the succession, like,
I mean,
and
come
then
on.
like,
yeah.
and then
I
the
got some
issue.
books.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Is it feminism?
I don't. Honestly, I
Is
don't
it
know.
that? Is it that whole shebang? Because believe me, I discussed that topic in senior high school 4 times in 4 different subjects. I was that
Really?
unlucky. Yes.
And
I like how
How
we're a
did-
bunch of guys
how
talking about feminism. It's
yeah,
not
but
we
like,
left-
how did that make you feel by the mere fact that what's this? You had to repeat the same lecture over and over again.
I can now roast women more accurately. I'm just
Oh my
kidding.
fucking
I'm
god.
not,
Oh my god.
I'm not sexist, though, by the way. That's a disclaimer.
I mean, the point is, it's kind of like, so as long as there's no miscommunication, I think you're good. But like, okay, so like the thing, so okay, so we went straight to like strongest women to okay, why don't we talk about feminists?
No, we're not gonna be talking about feminism as a topic in itself, but female characters, strong women characters from history.
Not
Yeah,
just that,
okay.
we're going to focus on a
Our
bunch of other
history.
things.
Our
Well-
history in particular.
Okay,
Anyway,
what type of what kind of part, what history would we start
Our
talking about if it's on the focus
If
on
any of y'all know, right? If
Honestly,
any of y'all know any.
the only things I've recalled is that there was the first woman in the tribe that became a warrior, but I forgot her name. But I could be wrong. That could be
There's
story
so
writing.
many.
or it could be-
just wait, guys. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to reset the streaming software. So I apologize for everything.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah, yeah.
So what in the Philippines? How do you suppose we come up with a topic, Glenn? I mean,
Important themes from women. Why they have.
And we're back.
okay, we're back.
Hello, sorry for the delay.
Is this a continuation?
Yeah, this is a continuation. We're still in the same podcast. We're still in the same topic. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But here's a problem, though.
What's the problem?
We're banned.
No. You guys just think of a topic. Think of a way to enter this topic. We're just gonna be here awkward, cause just first master do something.
She's not responding.
Open task manager.
Kill her.
Anyway, So anyway, with the topic about women in the Philippines, yeah, strong women is actually a pretty good way to start. But what specifically do we mean by strong women?
Alright.
Strong women who are history changers. History
I'll
makers.
tell you one, my damn tiny sister.
I mean, what sets
No, I'm
the
kidding.
characteristics for a strong woman?
If you know them, they've been important.
Yes.
What's as a characteristic?
I mean,
I know a couple of historical female characters from our history.
Gabriela Silang.
She's one of the most famous one.
Well, not particularly only the warriors, okay? Like poets and doctors.
Mm-hmm. The Baybaylan.
Because
Wait.
the Babaylan, yeah, they were almost always women.
Yeah. I mean, for a man to join, they have to dress up as a woman, right?
Yeah, the men had to act like women. Or if not, they were already gay to be a babaylan. Historically, babaylans are they were uniters of a community. They're like they were priestesses, but the way they united a community was like from any other culture. They use epic poetry and chants and mysticism.
Mm-hmm.
So often these babaylans were enemies of the Spanish conquistadors and the clergy that came after 1521.
I mean, they labeled
Because-
them as witches.
Well, in their standards, they were witches because they use a lot of herbs, and mysticism, hedonist mysticism. But that was in their perspective. In the babaylanis perspectives, they were just for their own communities, right? So what happened was, this is just gonna be some chronology of some aspect in history. What happened was when they were removed and usurped from the barangay system and replaced with the reducción system of the Spanish, their roles were replaced by priests. And then came well, y'all fill that up on what y'all want to say badly about the Spanish. But after, they had to correspond with what the Filipinos already were as natives and as their own tradition, right? So from epic poetry, from the secularist and no, not secularist, mythological and just myths, it turned into Christian theme art. And the best example of that, the longest surviving form of that conglomeration of two cultures is the Pasyon, the Pasyong Mahal. If any of y'all have heard that from Catholic old ladies in churches singing every Holy Week. It's that one. So these babaylanis were extremely important because not only were they women, because women as symbols of the nurturing mother, right? Which was eventually replaced by the Virgin Mary character, even though the ladies were belittled under Spanish rule. But then there were history changers even during Spanish rule. I can enumerate some, but if any of y'all have any ideas from other cultures.
No, not really.
Um,
I rev-
there,
you have an
I
you have a
forgot.
clue?
I mean, for China, I mean, who's the first empress of China?
First
Or
Empress of China.
Wu Zetian.
The first
the
empress?
Wu Zetian,
Yeah, yeah.
and also the first female pharaoh of Egypt. I forgot her name too.
Nefertiti.
Mhm.
No, wait, it's not.
No.
No, it's Hatshepsut. There,
Yeah,
there.
Hatshepsut. I mean, if you think about it, they all succeeded because they managed to act like men, and they
Hmm.
actually dressed up like men.
Oh,
So,
Yeah, Hatshepsut
I
was
mean, if you
actually pharaoh.
she wanted a
I
beard.
I don't think Wu Zetian acted like a man.
I don't think she did.
She didn't.
She
She
did,
owned
but
it.
There's also
her press.
Jadwiga. I'm butchering the pronunciation of Poland. She was king of Poland,
she was
Mhm,
king, not
Yeah.
queen.
king of Hungary and Poland.
Huh.
He
mhm.
acted like a king.
No, she was a king, not acted like a king. She was entitled the title of king.
But
Mhm.
she was a woman.
She was a woman.
Also,
I
there was
also
this Indian queen. I forgot her name too.
What are we talking about queens all of a sudden?
No. There's this Indian queen who became a guy
Really? An Indian queen
Yeah.
who became a guy.
because of no woman could sit on the throne or something. So she
Oh
had
wait,
to.
is this out of out of the ideas of how do I say this? Like their culture or religion or some sort.
Yeah, I mean, okay. It was a very pa- patriarchal world back then. So of course, if a
Mm,
woman were to seize power, she had to,
It was patriarchal in some sections of the world.
yes,
in some
she
sections.
had, but most of it
I
they
wouldn't say
have to what
most
you
of
call
it, since a lot of other
maybe.
cultures we just don't study them.
Mhm.
Or
But
matriarchal.
in most patriarchal ones, women have to embody the characteristics of men in order to rule,
Hmm.
right?
Yep, they have to.
In order, Mhm.
I only
Because
know a couple of female Chinese poets. For some, that's
Really.
yeah.
Mhm.
But it's hard to find their poems. Like who's this other one?
I'm gonna have to
Chi.
remind you guys that the topic is women in the Philippines, and we're already
All right.
somehow in China.
Well, I asked y'all if y'all know any major female players in history from other cultures.
So like
Yeah,
the problem is we're kind of limited to what we know about
Yeah,
women
what we
in
know
the
between
Philippines.
ourselves.
So
about women
so
in
we're
the
just
present
kind of like
time.
going to what we know.
Women in the present times. Yeah,
I'm sure there's a
I
lot
would
now.
know. I would know
Yeah.
from history, in our country. I would know. I just finished
Mhm.
reading this book, El Folklore Filipino. I told you about this,
Yeah.
Cocaine, by Isabelo de los Reyes. Uh, his mom was a famous Ilocano poet.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I think it's Florentina. Florent. I can't find it. But it's Florentina, his mom, who was a famous poet. He translated her poetry here from Ilocano to Spanish, and then the book
Okay.
I'm reading, I read translated from Spanish to English. So yeah, y'all can just wonder the accuracy of these, but
Hmm.
that's one. And then of course Gabriela Silang, who
Mhm.
many historians from the hyper-nationalist period of the mid 20th century, like
Yep.
I don't know any in particular, but this is in generalities. Like they considered these ladies like Gabriela Silang as opportunists.
Yeah.
Of course,
I
her
mean,
husband died, so she took on the role of rebel leader.
but would you count that as opportunistic or desperation? Desperation.
By definition, what is opportunism?
Um, Wait, see if it's seizing something for self-benefit, right?
Yes.
Regardless of cost.
Oh, her name was Leona Florentino. There's a statue of her in Ilocos, in Vegan, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one. And then there was this other lady from World War II. She was a doctor. I think it's Oros. Her epitaph was only recently discovered because it was buried under modern
Rubble?
infrastructure.
Hmm.
Oh.
I believe. We're very malnourished in this topic. I don't know where First Master is, so
We need first master for this.
yes.
Yeah.
But if we're
We're
going
not
to talk
suited.
about strong women,
We are not suited for this topic.
Yes.
We are not
Oh
ready.
yeah,
To our
Her
female
name was-
audiences, we're
her name was
sorry.
Maria Orosa. Her epitaph was only recently discovered in Malate, and she invented the banana ketchup.
Wait, which one?
Wait, she did?
she invented
She
banana
did?
ketchup.
She invented
Oh, hi,
banana
I'm
ketchup
back.
because
I'm
there
finally
was
back.
no. Where have you been?
We're
I
talking about
secured
banana
my
ketchup.
place here. I'm sorry.
We're talking
We
about
were
banana
Where have you
ketchup.
Because
been?
I was outside, so here I am.
Would you
Wait,
like
before
some
we
banana
start-
ketchup inside of you? Come on, contribute to this topic.
Before we started, do y'all like banana ketchup?
I like
It's
it.
fine. For me, it's fine. When I was young, I guess because of the taste buds, the kids. When we
Yeah.
were kids,
Actually, it
We
was
I
used
used
to
to
like-
like it because I thought it was the only kind.
yeah, same.
When you discovered
Yeah.
Del Monte or Heinz, you're like, wait,
I
there's
hate
others?
ketchup.
Really?
Burger King.
Yeah, I hate ketchup and I hate
Yeah.
mangoes.
Hey,
What?
guys!
Mangoes.
How could
I'm
you?
fine with mangoes. I hate
Yes.
guavas.
I
like
am
ketchup.
the degenerate Filipino.
I am okay.
I
So two people are on my
You're-
hate list now who hates guava and
I-
mango.
I hated mangoes ever
Why?
since I was a baby.
Why why you don't like mangoes?
I
Why?
don't know.
I'm offended.
Jollibee
Okay,
has
I'm from
peach mango pie.
I hate that too. I can tolerate mangoes, but I don't like them. So the best way for me not to eat the shit that you're holding, buy something mango flavor. I won't ask for it.
Hmm,
I can eat
yes,
mango
yes,
pie.
I
I like. I like
okay,
mango pie.
noted.
I like
I don't
make-
like mangoes. I'm
Make
just saying.
mango
like
sauce
peach pie.
for ano, Mick.
I heard mango high.
Oh, fuck you!
Shut up! Shut up, Lemonica!
No,
We're
no, no.
not letting this through.
Anyway,
Monica, remember,
First master.
we're not the ones
Yes.
that are supposed to ruin it. It's supposed to be the first master.
First master,
Yes.
open up with your topic. I'm gonna get some alcohol.
What kind
So
of
first-
alcohol? I have
so
a question,
first,
Cocaine. What kind of alcohol?
Mm.
What do you mean? What kind of alcohol? He drinks both.
Oh no, because there's rubbing alcohol.
Wow,
Fermented piss.
you don't drink that?
No. I think
Fermented rubbing alcohol.
I'm drunk. Where are you? Anyway, what's your topic?
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
So
yeah, one here.
first, I already opened it with the Babaylanes, a short history of that. What do you want to add?
Anyway, the specifics of the topic, according to the first master, is from the women who conquered the Philippine society to the oppression that's still happening.
The women who conquered Philippine society?
Explain, first master. We don't know your topic,
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't think we're prepared for this types of topic.
which is why I was like asking if you wanted to delay the topic. But anyway, besides that, we're already here.
We're just gonna make it worse for us if we just delay a topic that's basically in the title. So
Is first master?
Where's first master? Why did you leave us?
the first master has left us. We have time to kill. We have time to kill now.
We're gonna go back to mangoes.
Yes,
Guys,
we are
I know a
definitely going
couple
back
of-
to mangoes.
I know a couple of female characters from history.
Okay.
But the
There's
part-
this copy of there's this edition of No Limit Tangere and El Filibus
Oh,
Mine
okay.
I own. And it's the colorful bookmark edition from Bookmark Publishing House.
Who's that? Wait,
What-
is it? the question to me is who was the translator? Is it in
The
English?
translator was
Yeah. Because
is
the
Soledad Lacson Locsin.
oh, okay, si Soledad look.
Yeah, the best what do you call it? The best Spanish to English translation because it was done by someone
Yeah,
who really understood the language.
yeah.
So
Because okay.
how is she important? Let me just read
Si
her bio.
si Soledad Lacson.
Yeah, let me just
The
read
histo
the
okay.
biography she has in this in No Limit Tangere.
Yeah,
The translator.
I recalled my classes on about
Uh huh.
Rizal where
Hmm.
where my professor actually recommended Locson Locsin
Yeah,
as
yeah.
yeah.
Her translation's the best
Yeah.
for Filipinos, especially if
But
you're more
unfortunately,
on
when I was
English.
reading No Limit Tangere, the translator I had was by Guerrero.
Oh, that's a little
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah. The difficult, but like, what's funny is that Filibusterisimo was by Lacson Locsin. So
I
like,
see.
it was a bit of a clash between both confused and me questioning how I was still able
I
to
would
understand it.
I would call it Lakson Loksin has the softer translation.
Yeah.
Baguerrero has the harder translation.
Yeah.
So about her, let
Yeah.
me just read the transcript from her biography here.
Yeah. Go
From
ahead.
Talisay, Negros Occidental. Received her education in both Spanish and English at the Assumption Convent. Wrote in both languages for various publications. And did translation of books and other readings in both languages. She founded and was directress of then Casanova School in Bacolod.
Mm.
Arsenio Lacson, the former mayor of Manila, once a newspaperman, was her brother. Aurelio
Wow.
Locsin, her husband, was founder and editor of El Civismo, if y'all recall that publishing house, a Spanish language newspaper published in Negros, for which she also wrote. Four of her sons, Aurelio Jr. Raul, editor and publisher of Business World, the late Alfio and Jerry have also all been involved in writing and publishing. So her family was incredibly into the literary field.
Yeah.
And I say, have any of y'all read No Limitang rin El Filibusterismo in numerous translations?
uh, I my family got the Tagalog version and the English version, and as stated, one was by Magorero and the other by Laksonuki. But I never
Yeah,
touched the Tagalog ones because I focused more on like the English ones.
I say the Tagalog ones is better suited, obviously. But
For like the country
the
type.
the Penguin Classics edition, however, is for an international audience. That was my
Hmm.
mistake. So I better start with Lacson Locsin.
Yeah.
Aside from her, there's Dr. Fedelmundo.
The Pedomundo. Okay.
There's all we know is that she invented the incubator. But really, her story is also very intriguing. She rejected, I believe. I don't think she. No, I don't think she rejected, but was inclined to enter and was made to enter Harvard University. The first one of the first females, Filipinos, I believe.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Anyway, if we're going to modern topics if we're gonna reach out to a more modern perspective of
The ones today.
the ones today, among them, the most popular one that we could probably think of is Miriam Defensor Santiago.
Really? Miriam Santiago?
Like a powerful woman.
Most
Yeah.
most popular.
She's the most
The-
popular at the moment.
Wasn't she
The
also
president
the?
we never had.
Mm.
Mhm.
If I'm not mistaken, she also did make comedic jokes about politics at one point.
She does make a lot
Yeah.
of comedic jokes.
But
She
it's
writes satire, right?
yeah. I think my what's this now? her quote. Forgot. Stupid is forever. I think. I forgot
Yeah, that
how the quote
yeah.
went.
It's
Weird.
a book full of quotations.
Yeah, but it's mostly as stated, it was satirical at the time.
Stupid is Forever by Miriam Defensor Santiago.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there are a lot of women here, even currently living ones like Caroline Howe, Alice Reyes. Damn.
Hmm.
If
But
any of y'all know Caroline Howe, she hates Epsilon Jose, by the way.
she hates what?
Epsilon Jose, the writer. Remember,
Mm.
Coke, remember when I posted in the group on Facebook,
Which
and
one?
then there was the novel of Epsilon Jose Vibora, and then there was a comment that he's saying that, oh, that author is useless. Why would you listen? Why would you listen to him? And then I wondered why. And then, aside from his novels, he was a columnist. He is a columnist, and he wrote in phrasings that are problematic.
How come?
And then because of those problems, that his main opponent in his columns is Carolyn Howe, a Chinese Filipino writer and intellectual.
Her education's no joke, dude. What-
Academic. Her books include Elites and Ilustrados in Philippine culture. That's her. That's how what she's known for about the elites and the Chinese population of the country. Like, I mean, Chinese historical figures.
a bit, anyway, I've also seen that she also has a book about the Chinese question, ethnicity, nation, and region in.
Yeah.
Hmm. Carolyn Howe.
I think I told you about her, Lemonica, but I think I told you more about the book about the Chinese mestizos in the Philippines.
Mm.
Wait, what's the title again?
Chinese mestizo in Philippine history.
Mhm.
Ah, yes, here it is. The Chinese and Chinese mestizos of Manila. I thought it was a girl. I thought it was Caroline Howe who wrote it. It turns out it was Richard Chu. Never mind. There's so many examples of women here, but I barely know anything about them, except that I listen to Lucrecia Casilag's music.
Hmm.
This ain't flying. Where's First Master?
We need her.
Anyway, if we want to start talking about something, what about the second branching of this topic, where it's talking about the oppression of women?
I mean, technically, I think the worst part about the like the dark side of Philippines is that I think, if I recall, Japanese were kind of brutal to the women of the Philippines.
Comfort women.
Yeah, basically the
And
idea of
the worst part is Japan doesn't even recognize that happened. Fuck you, war crime deniers!
No, no,
On-
it could. I don't know. There can be possibilities of why they're either two things in denial or it was erased from history.
They're choosing to be
They're
denied.
erasing it.
They're erasing
Wait,
it
Yeah.
they're erasing it already.
from their
because-
historical perspective.
Because it's kind of like, I don't know how to put it. Like, if one kind of discovers the history of mistakes, they could probably get backfired by that.
Then
But like the point is, it's history. It happened a long time ago.
But then
we're
I
still gonna
doubt they would.
let's go on a
Yeah.
bit of a tangent here about history. I
Mm.
like how the Germans study history because they study everything about it, including the Holocaust.
Because the point there is to the point of history is to
Learn
is
from
to
it.
never repeat. Is to not necessary. So kind
To
of
learn
like
from it.
you need to learn both the
Just to
succession
learn
and the
from it.
mistakes.
I'm just gonna give a plug here. There's a book published only in 2010 titled
Yeah.
The German Genius. If y'all want to learn about German culture in the intellectual realm, go read that book.
Anyway,
Okay.
so let's go back to women because this is the topic. Let's
Yeah,
not suddenly
yeah.
dive into German history.
Yes.
I mean,
Although we would like
technically,
to
it's
do
kind
that.
of like it's kind of like a suggestion about
I found
aspects of
this I
of
found this
German culture.
image
Yeah.
called "We Remember Comfort Women by the Numbers."
Hmm.
December 8, 2017, the date when a 7-foot bronze statue depicting a Filipino comfort woman was unveiled along Rojas Boulevard, if y'all remember that, in Manila. It
Hmm.
was put up by a Chinoy group, the Life Foundation, which commissioned artist Jose Jonas Roses. The Japanese government opposed its establishment. This is important because it was recently removed by the Duterte administration.
Wait, why?
Why though? But the question is, why did they do that? The
Why?
point of that thing is
Why
to
was it
encourage.
made?
Yeah. No, no, no. Why was it removed?
I don't know. I don't know about Duterte.
Apparently, the statue is missing. It was
Oh.
Oh,
stolen.
it went missing.
It was stolen from the guy's studio.
It's the movie. It's the movie. What's that? Carmen San. It's kind of like that thing. Carmen San Diego. The Statue of Liberty got stolen.
So it was removed. No, it was stolen, but we don't know by who.
Anyway,
Really?
the
That
reason for
specific
its
one.
removal, officially for its removal, it was removed along with two others for a drainage improvement project along the Baywalk.
Drainage.
Yeah,
They
sure.
could-
That's the official reason. But then President Duterte remarked that the memorial can be placed in a private property since he doesn't want to antagonize other countries.
Hmm. I don't
Oh,
know
not
about that.
antagonize
I don't know
Japan,
about that
huh?
reasoning.
First of all,
That reasoning is big bullshit in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Anta-
because
not-
he's already doing it.
He's doing it to the U.S.
He's
Exactly.
spitting
What do you
on the
mean
memory
antagonize?
of the Filipinas who died, who suffered under the hands of these people. All for what? Brownie points to the Japanese? Really?
Let's make one bigger. Let's just make
I
a
mean, if you
bigger
think
comfort
about-
woman
But then
statue.
if you think about it, Philippines is Philippines lend more money. Wait, Philippine borrows money more from Japan than China.
Hmm.
So yeah,
When you think about it,
And that is a
Filipino
reason to
resources-
abstain in truth.
When you think about it, Filipino resources built Japan to what it is today.
Hmm.
yes.
It was America's allocation of
America-
Philippine resources after World War II to Japan's reconstruction.
America had this brilliant idea where they said, you know what? Instead of rebuilding the Philippines, let's rebuild Japan, the one who bombed us.
Because they get
The one
more,
we
they'll get
bombed.
more from Japan. Why did they help Japan now? Well, one reason would be, hey, the Philippines is just gonna succeed from us anyway. Why help them? Let's just help an eventually more advantageous ally in
Our
the East.
ally.
Yeah, because Japan will opens up a brand new theater towards China and Russia. Anyway, let's go back to the Philippine women's before we suddenly diverge into a topic about World War III.
One There's one here that I found that I don't know if she's still alive. A Filipina comfort woman who lives in Bacolod.
Hmm.
Her name
What's
is
this one?
Lourdes Divina Gracia. At this moment in the documentary, she is 70 years old
Okay.
and can barely speak straight.
Walk.
Oh, because
Straight.
of
Oof.
What do you mean speak straight?
her age or because of what
Is it
happened?
either
I don't know
of
if
age or trauma?
You can read the trauma in her face.
I think it's kind of clear though, since she kind of was treated as something lower than being a human.
During the documentary, she is very quiet, and yet her story, I don't know if it was suppressed, if the comfort woman narrative was suppressed, because no one knows about it. She's
Really?
just there.
Wait, so you're telling
For
me
some reason.
she's there, but there's still some restraint of her talking about?
There's an element of shame to comfort women.
I mean, it kind of is it kind of is the right what's the term again? Kind of like ranking someone that is the same level as you being human, but then being being purposely used as some kind of object for pleasure.
An object,
But
Yeah,
not just for pleasure, really.
yeah.
The objective of the Japanese Imperial Army to these Filipino comfort women, to comfort women in general,
Mm.
was a
was
dehumanization um, tactic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mhm.
I don't
I
know.
mean, the
Wait,
I
what's the
mean,
Japanese
exact?
view anyone that's not Japanese as second-rate humans to begin with
I
at
mean,
those times.
technically, as long as it's not your people, you're fine. It's kind of
Oh
like
yeah, a
a common
dehumanization
mentality.
campaign. Yeah, that's that. And they were used as examples to don't fight back. We will do worse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but when it comes to conflicts, it's always it's either like war or the 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 situation of the comfort women. So
Mm.
I
or
don't
like the
remember
topic
who
of rape.
exactly said it, but uh, there's a quotation that goes, "If you want to destroy a culture, to destroy a people, go after the women."
Wait,
Really?
wait,
Yeah.
how does that
Wait,
rationale
wait,
work?
wait. Huh?
Is it kind of like this idea? Is it kind of like what this? Because
Again, go back to the role of the Babaylanes. The women were chosen as a unifier of a people, of a
mm,
barangay.
Mm-mm.
How? The nurturing character of the woman, of the mother, unites a people. A
Mm-hmm.
united
Mm-mm.
people can belligerently fight effectively against its offenders.
Mm-hmm.
Target the women, use them as an example of of a
of
terror
of
campaign
terror, yeah.
to a people, and then there you have subdued a country. You have divide and conquer, but all you have to do is conquer the women and divide the people. The conquering part is the women.
I mean, technically, the most strongest tool that you can use is true. It's fear
It's
in Western, but
psychological warfare.
it's no technic. It's oh yeah, that's true because with this, I don't know if I can use this thing like the Leviathan by Hobbes kind of
Yeah,
utilize the idea
yeah,
that
the
fear,
Leviathan.
yeah,
Is
to
that
the
there?
it's kind of like this idea to use fear as a means to keep things in control. Hence
But
this title of
honestly, though, if you
Is
think
that
about
there?
it, we have baser instincts that would function as much as like an animal. So yeah.
yeah, which is
It
kind of
the reason why the Comfort Women campaign was done. It yeah, it's up to you and how you want in what
How you
part of the reasons were used, but
mm,
dehumanization was one of them. The
yeah.
divide and conquer was one of them. So going
Mhm.
back in 2001, the year when the then Japanese Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi wrote a personal letter apologizing to all comfort women for their incurable physical and psychological wounds.
Mm.
Quote.
Mm.
So
That's
if you call that as officially recognizing a war crime, you can.
I think
But is it?
I think it technically is.
It technically
That
is,
was
It's
way
but
back in
recognized
2001.
by
yeah, this is kind of like the factor of,
Mm.
but
It's a shitty
of
way of
course,
recognizing it.
yeah, it's kind
yeah,
of
yeah, it's shit, but it was recognized. But then,
yeah.
In recognizing the
I mean,
most
it's not about
ineffective way.
mm-hmm.
They still don't recognize a lot of their war crimes. Why are we talking about Japan's war crimes? Anyway,
Because it's kind of categorized
It's
within
comfort
that
It,
topic.
women.
yeah, the comfort women.
No.
we're staying in comfort women, okay? This is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
April 28, 2018, the date when the Filipino comfort woman statue was removed by the department DPWH on April 29.
Gonna check.
But
President
then,
Duterte supported the removal of the statue, saying that issue, in so far as I am concerned, tapos na yan.
Tapos na yan.
but then, honestly though,
Ah,
I mean, this
yeah.
country has this. I mean, this country has a culture that values purity, no matter the shit.
That's a very, that's already a very obsolete part of our culture, stemming
Yeah.
back from the Spanish period. We need to remove
Yeah.
that.
It's slowly
The
being
reason
Yeah,
removed
why the
anyway.
comfort women reason why the comfort women are quiet is the element of shame stems from that humiliation of being
Yeah.
raped.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
yeah,
why
yeah.
yeah,
The
yeah.
purity. What the fuck?
we
I
can
think that's
also
kind of
bring that
like
to
a
rape
yeah, that
victims
is
today.
yeah, that's already a common symptom. Shame.
Mm, yeah.
There's
Because
not it.
because one of the things that's a prevalent problem within the Philippines. It's not exclusive to us, but we have a lot of victim blaming that goes towards people who have been sexually harassed, sexually
Yes.
abused,
Mm.
raped.
Also,
There's a stigma
also,
against them because
Mm-mm.
somehow the concept of
Mhm.
virginity is more important than what happened to them, their psychological or even physical well-being.
Yes.
that's already being
Mhm.
a hypocrite.
You know,
If you think this idea of virginity is like being clean, that's kind of wrong. It's already wrong in it of itself.
yes, very wrong. Also, I
Because
mean,
Okay,
yeah,
let Lemonica speak. Let Lemonica speak.
yeah,
She's been
yeah,
wanting
sure.
to
I'll
speak.
I'll let Lamont.
I've
Actually,
read.
I gotta go. Do
Okay,
something real quick. I'll be
alright,
back.
take care. I read of an article before that talks about you know how fathers or uncles sexually abuse their what do you call that their daughters or nieces just for the pleasure alone, and then suddenly you would think the mother would defend their daughters, but no, the mother's telling them to shut up. Like what the fuck?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
incest rape is surprisingly still a thing here in the Philippines.
Yes,
It's it's extremely
I mean,
common.
think of the
Yeah, it's a problem.
yes.
First Master, if you remember the article that I sent you
Mm.
about
About
Nick Joaquin's from Reportage on Crime, the house on Zapotes. Remember that?
hmm.
It's about this dad.
Okay.
You know what? I'm just not gonna spoil it. But there's a movie about it called Kisap Mata. If any of you know that.
Mind giving us the synopsis?
Familiar with the title of the movie.
Kisap Mata. The house. It's based on the house on Zapote Street, where this toxic masculine, former no retired police officer dad is abusive, manipulative, and controlling of his only daughter, to the point
Mhm.
of crime. I'm not gonna
What
say
happened?
anything else.
Okay,
Mind
okay, now I'm
spoiling.
Oh,
Don't
it's
spoil it.
super.
Don't
Spoiler
spoil it.
spoiler
okay.
alert.
I'm gonna
The
mute you
dad's
guys.
jealousy
One of his niece just because it's something like that. Just because
Okay.
the niece wants to leave Hitler and be with someone else.
Oh, okay.
What's
It's
happening?
basically
What's
that.
happening? I heard
I
Hitler
don't know.
niece, and I'm thinking of Jewish people now.
No, 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 no. It's kind of like he's kind of like explaining the conversation they were having while I was.
Yeah, basically it's you know the story of how Hitler is attracted to his niece and then niece wants
is
to
that
leave
even
him for
is that even
guy.
true?
And
We
Yeah, I
can't.
don't know about
I've
that.
heard of it. I've
We,
heard
we
of it.
It could not be
Okay.
true, but still, that raises
I
a
mean-
no, that raises a question.
Okay, you can stop.
I mean, because here's the thing. It's a problem faced by women everywhere. The incest,
Mhm.
because the perspective on the family is that what happens in the family, the problems that
Stays
happen there stays in the family. So people will
Yeah.
rarely interfere if something is going wrong.
Mhm.
Even
Oh
if
my
the-
god! It's kind of okay. Hitler was deeply attached to his half niece, Geli
I
Rodel.
told you that was true.
Yeah,
He killed her eventually,
19 years his she began.
Junior.
Oh my
He's
god.
19 years younger than
What?
So here's the plug. Kisap Mata 1981.
Hmm.
Okay, okay, okay.
Mhm.
It's brutal. So anyway, going back to the comfort women, 50,000 to 200,000 estimated number of comfort women from South Korea, Taiwan, Indonesia, the Netherlands, and the Philippines. Around 1,000 estimated number of Filipino comfort women, though. So there was 1,000 of them.
Mm-hmm.
raped raped multiple times, and eventually, I don't know how many of them are killed, but hey, there's the red house in Bulacan, I believe, that was removed.
Wait, for what?
I don't know what happened to it. Wait, let me search. Bahay na
Wait,
Pula
wait.
in
Why
San
is it called Red House?
Ildefonso. It
Speaking of,
is. It's literally red.
I'm going to insert something. Speaking of the comfort women,
Hmm.
you know what South Korea did?
What?
Wait,
They
what?
put the Comfort Women Memorial statue in front of the Japanese embassy.
Oh god, that's terrible. Oh my
First,
god.
Japan has been
That's
asking them to
terrific.
remove it. They don't want to.
I mean, technic.
Oh yeah, yeah. For
that's
some
like
some reason, Korea and China kind of
no, Korea and China, that's still fresh in our heads because
yeah, yeah,
our
yeah. It's still
country
fresh in there.
constantly remind us of it. And so yeah, so like growing up, we have that hateful passion to want to murder a Japanese person. Like it's been indoctrinated into us.
I mean, no, not really, because like actually that's
Yeah, I
the
mean
thing. After
you will
like
grow
for
out of it, but yeah.
but
Because
the
here's the
thing is
thing
like
though.
what's funny enough, right, is that as I know the fact that Japanese did mess up on me making the worst of the Philippines as it is, right? I kind of don't. The thing is, I'm still quite interested about their history. Right? I don't
There's
Which
care
is
if they made a mistake. They're still kind of the same people as
yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's still a culture of people, but then
but we're still gonna have to recognize the fact that they're trying to
yeah, yeah.
deny this crime against humanity.
Yeah. That's the issue.
Like I mean, yeah, Japan is
Being in
cool and
denial
all,
about it.
but then the love for the Japanese culture, some people take it overboard,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's frankly disgusting because you're gonna have to think about what they did to our people first. What
Yes.
happened between
Yeah.
us, but
Mm.
because excessive love and excessive hatred, those are essentially in the same spectrum,
Mhm.
and they're both extremely toxic.
Mm.
Mm-mm. That's true.
Because hating someone for something that happened in the past, like hating an entire people to the point where you want to murder them, that's not right. But then again,
Mm.
also loving them to the point where you blatantly ignore the past that has happened, that they don't recognize. That's the key word.
Yeah.
They don't recognize what happened.
That's also BS.
That's the real shit. If Japan recognizes it, it'll be a different story. But they don't. They're actively denying it. They're telling them to
That's.
take down the statues.
Even to
Well,
their
like,
people. That's the part.
I
Sad
mean,
part.
like
Yeah, yeah.
the weirdest
I mean,
part is this.
the thing is,
Yeah. Okay.
also,
I'll let
never
Mark
mind.
talk.
You go first. I mean, okay, fine. The thing is, I mean, Japanese education system, it isn't really mandated by the government. Like, what textbook to use? It's like it's up to the individual school, and of course,
Let's not forget that education is
textbooks
still
with
controlled by government.
no,
So
no,
they
no.
have
But,
the.
but then textbooks and education materials to be used are by teachers and by the publishing house. So
Mm.
technically, you want to make money since you're a publishing house. So of course you would sell something that appeals to the Japanese sense of honor and etc. So why would you put comfort women and all the BS atrocities your people have done in order to
Oh.
prove a point? Because in the end, you have to make money.
Yeah.
So anyway, the red house in San Ildefonso, Bulacan, where 100 women were raped by Japanese soldiers, was demolished.
For what reason now? Is it corporal?
I-
Why? They, sh-
In,
they should
in
they should have kept it up.
insurance, insurance.
Insurance.
Go the way of
That's
South
You mean
stupid.
they
Korea.
put an insurance?
Yes, they had it demolished
What?
because you know when you demolish a historically and old house, instead of just allocating money to it and then earning money through a museum and stuff through the long term, no, why not just get a lot more money through the short term by having it
By the
demolished and sold?
I mean, like the dangerous part
Museum.
about like
To be fair on
Oh.
their part, maintaining an old house
Fine.
is quite expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It is extremely
Mhm, it is.
expensive.
It's not gonna be worth it to make it a museum unless you already have another source of income.
yeah.
But it would be
I
better if you
guess-
donate it. If you sell the old house, if it's old enough, you could sell it to
I guess
fucking
yeah. fair enough. Economic wise, that's also like
we still
a
have to think that
decision to
these
make.
are people. If it's on
Yeah.
private property,
I'm-
it's not the government's issue.
Mm.
Yeah, it's private property. It's owned by the Ilusorio family, and the National Historical Commission cannot do anything about it.
It's
But
private
wait,
property.
why that house of all things?
Exactly.
I
Kind
mean,
of like
it's
Okay, yeah.
that's why they like
That's-
charging a homeless person as if they have a job.
Wait, just imagine why? I mean, it's privately owned. If it's publicly owned, it'll be more understandable
Yeah.
What do you mean more understandable?
because
Actually, yeah. Wait.
the Japanese control the Philippines at that time. But then it's privately owned, so by
Would've
a
wanted to
wealthy
sell it.
family.
By
Probably.
law, we can't do anything about it, which is extremely sad.
Yeah.
If Lamonica, if you're thinking that this is the only house that the Japanese use to rape,
I'm pretty sure there's a
to
lot,
comfort
but
women,
this is
there's a horribly lot more. There's the Lizares mansion in Bacolod. The basement was used by the Japanese so no one will hear their howls at night.
this reminds me of the Soviet. Who's that guy again?
Oh my
Stalin's
god.
son.
The house is so. I'm just looking at the picture of the mansion.
Wait,
Kind of eerie.
What mansion?
Behind
Bacolod?
the,
Yeah, the one in Bacolod.
behind the pula. It's actually kind of
Yeah, the
eerie.
Lizares mansion. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
wait, Lazarus?
Lizares.
Lizares mansion
Lizares
in
mansion
Iloilo.
Okay.
Oh no, wait, it's in Iloilo City. I thought it was in Bacolod. So this mansion is currently owned by the Catholic Church and is
Oh,
used
that
as,
is
as a
so
school.
terrible. That is horrifying.
Someone is echoing. I'm just
But-
gonna have to say that.
The
It's
mansion,
Monica.
Na Monica.
Wait, let me try. Oh,
the mansion looks gorgeous,
It is as
But-
gorgeous.
but
But then, if you understand the context,
then what?
The history.
Yeah. If you understand the
Yeah,
context
it's
of its
it's a
history.
politically and socially important place. So many things happen in this place.
I
So
like
there's
the
that
arts.
one.
I like the architectural style.
It's Beaux Arts.
Okay.
Beaux Arts architecture. I believe, if I can remember some other places where Japan. Oh yeah, the White House in Baguio.
Oh,
That one.
Excuse me?
The Japanese murdered the entire family.
yeah.
On their dinner table, they murdered them instantly just to get their house. So there was that. Nothing to do with the comfort women. There's just a lot of examples of not just the Bainapula and the Lazares mansion. There's a lot of places used which we don't consider. We don't know that these places were used as comfort women stations.
I'm actually just talking about this topic. It's already giving me a refresh of like my good interest about dark history. Because if I'm also not mistaken, Vietnamese suffered the similar fates, but then they were shot after they got raped. But I can't remember what type of soldiers they were. I think they
Are
were
they,
American.
are they
were
more
American
aware?
soldiers.
Or-
Yeah, they kind of were aware about the idea that they did mess up, but they kind of got
They're
shot.
not also recognizing. America's
Yeah.
also not recognizing
So,
the crimes against Japan.
if y'all
I mean
know-
Vietnam.
There's this book,
Yeah.
a memoir by a comfort woman. Maria Rosa Henson, that's her name. Book's titled Comfort Woman, Slave of Destiny. It's a book.
Okay.
To know that there's only one book, really, damn.
They
From the 1,000 that
they're
were raped,
really trying
we
to-
only
Freeing
we
the
only
slaves.
know a written history from one, only one.
is it actually still carefully preserved, like the work?
There are movements, there are organizations to remember and conserve the museums for comfort women. I don't know I know specifically the names, but I know there are after watching 2 documentaries.
Mm-hmm. I'm just looking up on American war crimes, and I see a lot of
Of
rape.
course you would.
Of course there is.
You should look at the
course
Filipino ones
there
to see truly brutal shit. They once fed a man to ants alive.
Really?
Wait, what?
Wait. The ants were alive.
No, the man was alive.
No. Feeding ants to a man.
No, the ants ate him
Oh, the hell.
Ouch.
very slowly.
What kind of ants were they using?
Filipino kind, obviously.
Wait,
The
one sec.
rambutan
Oh.
ants. The fire ants.
Antique.
Yeah, antique. Yeah.
It's one of the
Fever.
examples of war crimes committed by both sides in the Philippine-American War.
Damn.
Oh, so I'm gonna read this last one on the image. 2011, the year when the first statue depicting a comfort woman was erected in Seoul, near the embassy of Japan. Similar statues were also erected in other parts of South Korea. The one in Busan led to a diplomatic rift with Japan. Since 2011, similar statues of women have also been erected in other countries, including those parts in the U.S., Australia, China, and Germany.
Germany recognizes it more than us.
Oh my goodness. I'm just
That
looking
makes you
up
think.
like I'm just looking up like historical women, and like the first caption you get is rebel leaders, undercover messengers, and silent assassins.
Cool.
But looking
Yeah.
back at history, we can see a lot of examples. But right now in our modern era, there are still a lot of oppressions against women, despite
That
the
is
fact
true.
that says that, according economically, Philippines is one of the most equal countries in the world.
Wait, equal?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're equal.
You
I
see a
mean,
lot of
when it comes to
women-
there's not a lot
economics,
of
the
age
men
gap.
and women are working.
Yeah,
I think that's
there
what I
is
prefer.
the wage gap
Prefer that.
between the Filipino men and women is very small compared to other countries.
Mm.
But then again, economically it looks good. It shows that maybe we are equal, but there's still a lot of sexism going on in the country.
Yes,
Yes.
but then the opposite of that is sexism.
What?
I mean, it's,
Oh, what?
Wait, what?
I just said
Someone-
sexism. There's
Yeah,
still a
yeah.
lot of sexism
He
going
said
on in
that.
the country. What do you mean the opposite
Yeah.
of that is sexism?
no, the
God
downside.
damn it, LaMonica!
Are you high?
Okay.
He could. Okay.
I'm-
Let's continue.
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
Which
it's not just sexism. The issues that a lot of people face today is still it's still somewhat similar to what they faced back then. There's still a
Yeah.
stigma against rape. There's still a stigma against reporting rape. Apart from the victim blaming, there's also a lot of incest, especially now. Teenage pregnancy. The effects of pregnancy disproportionately falls on the women more. The guy could walk off and
And
be
the
forgotten.
and you can't prove the child since they're too poor to prove it.
You can, yeah, DNA testing is quite expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just gonna have to suck it up. And it's and it's disproportionately, what keeps the cycle of poverty still going. And it's
It's
not
kind of-
it's not entirely their fault too. It's the fault of poor sex education.
Mm-hmm.
Also
thing-
pornography, like illegal pornography.
Honestly, I feel like porno. Wait,
that was
illegal.
that was kind of.
I
the
mean
case,
illegal. The child pornography.
There's also
Yeah.
child pornography rings in the Philippines are quite prevalent.
It's
Yes.
we're number one, right?
You know it's higher now because of online classes.
Mhm.
Yeah, because of
because
online classes.
people because
Wait, what's
the-
the relation with online classes?
We're all stuck at home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the problem there is also payment is still needed.
How do you get
Alright.
how do you get big money quick
Yeah,
if you're a
that's-
woman?
that's where they turn to
Yeah,
desperation with
Not
that
just that, not
with
just
that
that.
thing.
bro.
Some of it is not non-consensual. You have to think about that. And the reason why
Yeah.
they can get away with it is because of the fact that our age of consent is 12. So let's say when
Oh
a
my
12-year-old gets raped, they're gonna have
Wait.
questions that about
I think it's already
did you
revision.
like it?
It's
Is it still is it
16?
already
It's
revision?
revised.
Yeah,
Wait,
it
Oh,
is.
it's revision to 13.
What is?
Oh
No,
my
it's
god, that's
No,
even
our
worse.
age
But
of
it's still-
consent is still. Oh yeah, okay, we raised it to 16 na pala.
But,
One-
But it's
good,
still
good,
young
good.
for me though. For me.
I
That's
say
still
six-
young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
16 is
It's
already
true,
an
it is still
appropriate
young.
age.
But
It's more appropriate.
It's more appropriate.
Then 12.
It's a little
okay.
more.
16 is
little.
one of
Getting
the more.
there.
But
We're
still
getting
kind
there.
I mean, if you think about it, even if they consented, it's still a compromised consent because
Because
they're
they're
doing it out of
kids.
yes, and also they're doing out of desperation.
Not
They're
just,
not. wanting it.
It's not just that. You have to think about. You have to think about how it's sex work at this point, which we can divert the topic there, because sex work is actually pretty common in the Philippines. It's not
Very.
legal, and it's sometimes exploitative because of the fact that human trafficking is a very big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not special there.
We're not gonna go there. That don't know much about human trafficking, even though I like to joke about it.
But but there's a bit of positive change, I guess. Just a bit. There used to be a red light district in Manila, which is now removed.
Malate.
It's still probably still there. We just don't
No,
know it.
no. I mean, it's like before I would usually see strippers lying outside whenever I pass by, but now they're all gone. It's replaced by convenience stores, restaurants.
You don't know. They usually come out at like midnight.
No, no, no. I was there at 11:30 around those times.
In Olongapo, they usually come out like 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh well.
That's
Oh,
that's
I
very
think
true.
That's true.
In
Yeah.
Olongapo,
That is very
Baguio
true.
too. Don't ask how I know. I just found out from a friend.
Yeah. Okay, we'll not go there.
Basically, and then the thing with this, when I used to use an online dating app, one of the things that I would find is, in relation to this, is the people that are there offering sex.
Oh God.
2,000
In exchange of
pesos,
money, yeah.
1,000 peso. And then I saw one that's bidding her virginity, and I'm like, what the fuck?
The fuck?
Why?
What?
She's 18, I think.
What do you want?
I mean,
Poverty is a big problem in the Philippines. A very big problem.
mm-hmm.
And then the fact that we're not just poor, we're also very conservative here in the Philippines.
Oh, that's even
We
worse.
have a weird
This is
thing
worse.
that we view. Okay, here are the list of things that we view. We view abortion as a sin, even if it's medically necessary. We view
Yeah.
rape as a sin, even though it's through no fault
If
of the
it's
victim.
And if
Again,
it's
back
inflicted
with
on you.
like this idea of like religion being
It's like,
the overhaul of everything. That should be revised
But-
as well.
I mean, have you noticed it's all on women? There's none on men.
Yeah, exactly. Look
Yeah,
at how teenage
totally.
pregnancy is perceived.
As a
Well-
woman's thing.
Yeah, it's the fault of the woman for getting pregnant from the guy, even though it's most likely that the guy did all the work, like advance. Not all the work, he did all the advancing.
Yes.
And sometimes guys can be pressureful. I can say this because I used to be that kind of asshole. Is that pressure that they will pressure into people into sex, and that's like the shittiest thing you can do. One of the shittiest things you can do in a relationship.
Oh
We call
God.
that thirst.
It's not even thirst at this point.
Oh
It's
God.
manipulative.
It's manipulative. Yeah.
Manipulative.
At least with thirst, you're
Oh, no,
going.
no.
Oh,
There's
how
a
we
limit.
know some people.
There's a
Oh, how
limit
we
to
know
thirst.
some people.
We're not
You-
gonna talk about that.
What do you
one.
mean by some people? You mean Sappho, the queen of thirst?
She made a poem about Aphrodite not helping her. Thanks a lot.
She made a poem like, I cannot weave, mother, because I am too horny.
Wait, I wanna. What's the name of this
give
poem?
me the name of the poem.
That's the poem from one of the earliest female poets in history.
She's
What's the
possibly
poem?
bisexual.
Wait,
You
what's
see,
the
she
poem?
almost
called him-
collapsed
it's
from the
called-
laugh of a woman. She
What is
read
it called?
her poem.
Him to Aphrodite.
Ode to Aphrodite is one of the poems.
Yeah. Wait, but is it that one?
God.
I almost got a Sappho poem collection from online shopping. I didn't get it. It was someone already bought it,
It-
but
it's not worth
really
it.
thin.
Because
It's really thin.
we only have a few of her poems. I think we only have 3 poems from her.
Oh God.
No,
I'm
we have 6.
The 3 complete poems. The rest are just fragments.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hmm?
One of the most
Ayo.
popular Greek writers, and that's all that's left of her legacy because of language drifting. There's an entire topic you can divert to that, just to her, just to what happened to her works. Anyway,
This whole podcast can be dedicated to her.
Yes.
back to the topic of oppression in women.
Mm-hmm.
Of-
Yeah.
basically, on paper, the Philippines is a very equal country. On paper, but in
Okay.
reality, it's not. It's still disproportionately favoring men over women. Even our president is extremely
Yeah,
sexist.
I was gonna
Yes.
I was gonna talk about it because
mean-
Why? Why? It's horribly westernized. Horribly.
Hmm.
We take all the aspects of the bad shit of America for some reason.
And we decided, why don't we do it
Only
too?
the bad shit.
We
Of
can't
course.
take the good shit. It's too
We're
good
even
for.
we're even copying their wokeism. How good can the shit get?
Wait, what? Copy the what?
Wokeism.
Wokeism. We're even doing that now. What about the Philippines?
We're still resisting it, to be honest. A lot of Filipinos hate the fucking woke movement. I mean, I'm actually in a Facebook group. The entire dedication of it is to shit on Filipinos and Phil Americans who subscribe to the woke culture.
What the heck
Not
is
just woke
that?
culture.
What's
Not
the
just
name
woke
of the-
culture, but they think they're so much better than Filipinos who live
Wait,
in the
I'm
Philippines.
sorry.
Yeah, I've seen
Okay.
one. I've seen a Filipino American post that he's wearing a sando, like a basketball jersey and shorts. It's just like, I'm probably more Filipino than my countrymen in the Philippines. And then
Well,
someone
but-
commented, hindi ka Filipino, bobo ka lang.
No, here's the
Nice.
question. Did the guy respond, I don't know what you're talking about?
I have no idea. Anyway,
Because if so, that's already a good burn.
back to our culture, in a way, is quite patriarchal. You could say it came from the Spanish, or it could came from the Americans. Honestly,
Both. It came from both.
it came from
It came from, yeah, it came from both.
we disproportionately favor men in positions of power.
I feel like that has to change sometime.
It has changed in our country because now we actually
Yeah.
have female leaders, not good ones.
Yeah.
some are.
Gloria.
No, no,
Fuck
no,
you.
no, no.
Oh, yes.
I don't mean by the presidents.
Yeah,
Okay?
we have no good women presidents yet. Hopefully, we will have one
Yeah.
soon.
Sadly, Spencer died.
Actually, most of our presidents are not good, so there's really the bar is just very low at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Wait, who's the good ones?
I'd say one of
The
the good ones is the
pre-Marcoses.
fucking father of Gloria.
Theodore? Shinzo?
Diosdado.
Yeah, Diosdado was a good president in terms
The
of
good
economics.
presidents were all the pre-Marcoses.
Yeah, Diosdado
pre-Marcoses.
Macapagal was actually, if I recall, he had the most successful land reformation program.
Yeah, he founded the Agrarian Reform Department.
Yeah, his agrarian reform was more effective than Magsaysay.
He continued what was there.
If you want the good president, fuck Marcos. Look at Diosdado.
Just
Yes.
that though, for some reason, so few know about it.
Yeah, they think
his
he's a
legacy.
useless president because of Gloria.
They think
Oh,
he's
wow.
a useless president because they don't know about him.
And he
Really,
has
just Dado Macapagal. I don't know, since he began the agrarian reform movement, I don't know if there are any more agrarian reforms after came.
Marcos tried. That didn't succeed as much as Diosdado. Anyway, back to
I know
the
his,
women
I
in
know his
position.
book called From Nipahat to Presidential Palace. I cannot find it anywhere.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway,
Like-
women in the positions of power in the Philippines. First Master, you're supposed to say something.
Yeah.
Are you there, First Master? Can you hear
Nope.
us?
See what?
Would you want to be president?
No, our question is
No.
women in the positions of
Miriam,
power.
I want Miriam. I want her back.
Alright, time to
Miriam
sacrifice the entire
is-
Philippines.
Miriam
Yes.
is pro Marcos
Oh yeah. That's the downfall though.
Wait, why though?
She might.
because just like Duterte, they were both sponsored by the Marcoses.
Oh.
Ooh.
Shit, right? That's why it didn't really vibe for her at the beginning. But I didn't know about Duterte though. I didn't know he was sponsored by them too.
Is vice president.
Oh yeah, I watched it from the King Master where Imelda is
Kingmaker?
the lead. I would say lead in the documentary.
Is it the King's Master or the Kingsman? Or are you
Kingmaker.
No,
with
it
your
is.
name?
It is from that document.
Kingmaster.
Wait,
Or
is
is
it
Master.
Kingmaker?
Kingmaker. Oh yeah. Sorry.
You confuse it with your own name. How egoistic are you?
Kingmaster sounds like a kink.
Sorry.
Kingmaster.
Hey. No.
Royalty
guys.
is first master's kink.
Hey.
I got
Hello, Plot 64. Welcome to hell.
Okay. Is the stream
Welcome
up?
to hell. How
Yeah, the
tough
stream
are
is
you?
up. Yeah.
How tough are you? How
Okay.
tough am I?
Say it with me. Say
How
it
tough
with
am
me.
I? I eat a
1,
bowl of dicks for
2,
breakfast
3.
without any
Advance
lube.
Happy Women's Day.
It's tomorrow, man.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah, advance.
It's not even
Let's-
midnight
let's,
yet.
Hello,
yeah,
happy
advance
Women's
Happy
Month.
Women's Day.
Yeah, Women's Month. Let's
Alright,
say
Women's Month.
How gay am I?
Yay.
I ate a bowl
I
of
don't-
dicks for breakfast.
Why the fuck do you
Without
sound
any
so
lube.
unenthusiastic?
Plot 64.
Okay,
Are you drunk?
Yes.
Plot.
No.
Unfortunate,
Why would
because
I be?
Lemonica is high.
What?
I take your job.
Someone explain to me why there are new
Yes.
chats.
Whether what?
Not even going to say there are new chats too.
Oh, we'll talk about that later, Plot.
Wait, why is
When
it
we're
named
in the
fuck up
podcast.
Bill Gates?
Alright.
I don't know who wrote that.
I don't
There's
know.
even there's even
Remember,
No,
Don't say that.
Sauce-
Don't say that.
Remember,
No,
Sauce-
don't. No, it's only for us.
It's only for us.
Alright.
You can already
Okay.
see that it's just the high sperm who can.
Remember, Sausage, I am an admin too.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sperm bank. What the hell? What the hell?
Anyway,
Have
I'm
you
back
read
to-
any of the comments yet?
I'm
Okay.
not reading
Comments.
anything right now.
I'm
just
gonna read the
talking to
comment.
you guys.
Sasquatch said, "Women, huh?" She also said, or he, I don't know. They also said, "Same. I don't like mangoes and banana ketchup."
Why?
And then she's on a different
Why?
level. That makes sense. And then there's message
hell?
redacted. Message redacted. I'll presume that the SPP Foundation got to this person.
Yes.
Then there's
Yep.
Gabriel Root who said no audio a bit. And then Cessna again who says this is a fitting topic for the month of March.
Oh, cool. We have 3
I guess about-
loyalists.
Yes. Thank
Hello.
you.
Thank you.
We
for
only
listening.
we have 4 watching. That's great. Why is there a Philippine eagle on our?
Again?
Don't question it, okay?
We're back with an eagle again.
Beautiful.
We should-
Okay, it's
like-
beautiful.
We should
Huh.
put Joe Biden on it and then put vanilla ice cream right next to him.
No! They
Okay.
won't get
Yeah.
No,
the
that's
show.
not for International Women's Month.
Anyway.
What are you?
Well, yeah, let's make
Why
Joe
him?
Biden a woman. Let's just making him a trans. Let's just make him a woman. Let's just put a wig on him. Perfection.
No, that,
I'd say that
no, that-
Joe Biden is actually the worst person for that because he's a fucking sexual abuser in a way.
He's senile.
He's not just senile. He also, if I do recall, there's a joke about him being arrested for sexual harassment multiple times, and that President
Wait,
Obama has to use the presidential pardon to get him out of jail.
Oh,
Is
wow.
that true?
No, it's not real. It's
true.
just a joke.
Okay,
It's
that's
just a
That's
joke.
true.
That's fucked.
Oh, it's a joke. Okay.
But it's a joke that's popular in the American
It's a-
consciousness because it's actually
It's
kind
an
of
extremely fucked up joke.
Because Joe Biden, if I recall, Joe
Bruh,
Biden
come
mouth
up with
kisses
that.
his granddaughter.
Oh, God.
But then,
Maybe that's just their
I
thing.
mean, Hunter
Uh,
Biden had a child sex tape, right?
Who?
Hell?
Wait, he
Hunter
did?
Biden, his son. Yeah, he did.
What kind
Who?
of family
Isn't
do
he
they
getting
have?
arrested yet?
Who the fuck is
No.
Is he
Hunter
not
Biden?
getting arrested
Joe
yet?
Biden's son.
It's
The son of Joe Biden.
I
son of
call
Joe
him
Biden.
I call him
Oh.
ano, Dick Biden for some reason.
Oh, no, don't worry.
Like,
Don't worry,
he-
Cocaine. You kind of have the right to say it.
What? What do you mean?
Dick Biden.
Dick
You have the right to say Dick Biden.
You have the right to say Dick Biden. Anything that you say will be used against you in the court of law.
Then the American sees this and, well, it was nice knowing you was a good friend, my guy.
America
I
can
swear.
suck
Actually,
my
wait a
dick.
second. I actually pulled the trigger for both of us, Cocaine. So it was nice knowing you, my friend.
I'm
I
gonna-
swear,
fuck the
every time
clock.
there's a court, every time there's a court hearing, and then some guy's name is Dick, I swear someone in court always chuckles.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. The court is usually kind of boring most of the time. since it's
Oh.
I have a
since
feeling
it's on
if I chose to become a litigation lawyer, I'd probably fall asleep.
yeah,
Yes.
that's gonna be the issue.
Yeah,
Because,
that's
like,
definitely you.
I have ADHD, so my attention span is really short, and then I just tend to fall asleep.
yeah,
I'm
If I
yeah,
was if I was ever in a court hearing, I would only be there for the sole interest of using it as a literary piece for fiction.
Mm-hmm.
you know, one Pio, you make a good point. Because it's kind of true.
It makes good material for fiction,
Yeah, it does.
especially in how serious some cases are. You can use that.
Mm.
We've done.
Or you could just say, screw this, I'm playing Phoenix Wright.
Phoenix at the kangaroo court.
If y'all know this, what do you call it? There's this creepypasta with that same premise. They were in court.
Yeah.
How do you kill a monster? That's the
Oh.
title.
Anyway, going back to women.
Yeah, let's actually talk
Women
about
in the
creepy
positions
stuff
of
later.
power. The first master was supposed to talk about it. She was gonna say something.
But then it's like,
It
dang
got
it, we
She's
have to wing
delayed
it.
it for an hour and a half now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you were supposed to say about women in the positions of power?
Okay, what? What? I just came back.
Oh,
You
for
were-
fuck's sake!
You were saying something about.
Oh, for God's sake.
You were gonna say something about women in the positions of power
Yeah. Let's hear it.
that are not the presidents.
First master.
Are you still
Really?
alive? Are you just gonna
Really,
leave us
motherfucker?
here?
She probably
Again.
blacked. She's probably blank out.
She's probably dating a tricycle again. Every time she speaks, there's always some cars in the background. I swear she's smashing some of them.
It's like the moment we're just talking calmly, she hears the revving of a car, and it's like, woo, a Ferrari.
Muffler masturbation.
Oh, here's
I'm so sorry.
All right, are you back? Can
You
you
back
Yeah.
now?
Wait, you didn't hear it. Oh,
We heard none of it.
Yeah, we heard none of it.
You were
Why?
you were speaking.
You were talking about the fucking you fucking cars. For crying out loud.
oh my
Yes.
god.
Well, boys,
I hate
congratulations. We're about to be targets.
I hate this.
So what did you say?
Yeah, what did you say?
I think there's a representative in
Mm.
the Congress. Wait, party list representative?
Okay, Google, what the hell is this?
Oh, okay. I think that's her name is. She is the representative for Kabataan Party List.
Ah, yeah, that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you don't know her, Sara Elago yet? I guess
forgot her
I think
name.
that's her name because I kept on seeing her in
Yeah, Sara Ilago.
the news. Yeah, where she also the person who keeps on protecting about the Lumad schools, which we all know
Ah,
what happened.
yes, we're
with
talking about the youth leaders now.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, this is
I don't
actually
give a
good.
fuck about
don't-
the boomers.
I-
give a fuck about them
I don't
anymore.
know any of them. I don't know anything.
I
I'm
don't-
more of in history, Philippine
Oh, okay.
history. So no, I don't know any
I
of
went
these.
to a talk in UP Baguio where one of the speakers was the Kabataan Party List representative there.
Yeah.
And one thing I can say, youth leaders are important for this because they build up experience from what they do, and they could carry that experience if they want to start a career in politics, like what Sara Ilago did.
Mm-hmm.
And they also know more about the society that we live in right now because
'cause they
they want
experience-
change.
They're experiencing it,
They're experiencing it, and here's the thing.
Yeah,
though,
they're experiencing it too. Yeah.
and they still have the youth to,
they still have the optimism of the youth.
Do y'all have
Mm. Yeah, that's
do
kind
do y'all have what do you call it? Hope for our generation.
I have a lot because
Yeah, I do,
you look
yeah.
past the stupid people. You look past the
Yeah.
TikTok cancelers or the shit like that. And you see a lot of bright people that
Yeah.
represent what
Mm.
our generation will be remembered for. Because you have to remember, every generation has a lot of stupid people.
Mm-hmm.
They're the loud minority.
Except
They're
ours,
loud. They're loud for ours. They're loud now because we have the internet.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
If let's say we put the internet back in like medieval times, there'd probably be just as much peasants saying, canceling the king for they forgot to feed the bread. Heretic.
Oh yeah. Besides,
They're not
what do
even gonna put
what
a
do you think about
hashtag. They're just gonna put something else.
Hashtag
Feed the bread.
heresy.
Hashtag heretic.
Hashtag heretic.
Hashtag fools of the king.
So anyway, are there any youth leaders that we should be proud of from our generation who are women?
Well, the most prominent one is Sara Elago, and then there's also the ones who lead the protests. It's not just youth leaders.
don't-
though. It's not just youth
I don't know any of
leaders.
their names.
Same. I'm bad with names.
Same age too.
There's also the union representatives in the Philippines. If I recall, one was killed. Multiple people were killed actually. Union representatives. Multiple of them were killed. Officially, they're listed as suicides or accidents. A suicide, the guy has like bullet wounds. So many of them.
Yes, suicide by gun. How many
Suicide-
times? Multiple times.
Suicide with
Torso.
a machine gun.
Suicide by machine gun.
Suicide with military grade hardware. Oh, amazing.
It's like.
Who were those human rights lawyers, the husband and wife who were killed recently?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna.
What was his name?
I'm looking for it.
Their husband and wife, they were both killed.
Yeah, This is not
Randy
recent.
and Zara, I believe. I don't. Wait, what's their surname?
There's a lot. There's actually been a lot
Yes.
of
Oh,
lawyers.
Randy and Zara Alvarez. There it is.
Wait, what? Alba.
There's a lot of lawyer killings, to be honest.
Oh yeah, there's
judges,
recent today, I guess.
lawyer, judges, even union representatives, and even people from the tribes, the elders, they also get killed. And then it's always riding in tandem, accidents. It's quite obvious who does it.
Yes, definitely. Because a lawyer is definitely depressed at the fact that he had to serve justice, serve to the people.
If you oppose the justice that the government is dispensing, you're gonna get something else.
Pretty much.
Also, I just found out. I've just heard from my teacher. It's quite cheap to get riding in tandem assassination. It costs about 5,000 peso per head.
Really?
Why
Well, like
why hire hired hitmen when you can just use your entire police force as a hired hitman?
But then it'd be too controversial.
Nobody
that's
ca-
kind
they
of
don't
like-
care anymore.
But like-
They've already done it multiple
But
times.
you know,
They're killing them with military grade hardware.
military grade pest extermination. Oh well.
I mean, it's kind of like the idea of like using the police as a means to assassinate someone is kind of like mafia level though.
It's not mafia level. It's paramilitary.
Yeah.
They have obviously the Philippines has one. Who else would be the Republican Guard of our dear president?
We do have a paramilitary, a very unknown and unofficial one.
Why do you think the intelligence fund is so big? Anyway, looking in this, activism is actually a dangerous activity in the Philippines. Once you've grown to be more well known,
Famous.
not famous, well known. You don't even have to be famous. If you're famous, you have some degree of protection. Because you're activists. If you go against the government, even if let's say your reasons are valid, you will still be labeled as an enemy of the state. Even if you
Wait,
just want
unofficial labeled, right?
officially labeled as enemy of the state.
Wait, what?
Red tagging. That's red tagging.
Red
You'll
tag.
officially be tagged as a communist rebel.
We're still in the Red Scare period of history.
We still have a valid reason. The NPA
There is the
is still a
NPA.
dangerous threat because they're using guerrilla tactics. Even though even a lot of their
They're
members.
using people our age.
Yeah. And here's the thing though with the Red Scare, I feel like the more you push people, the more they'll go towards extremism to fight back.
That's true. That happened during the martial law period. From what I heard, before martial law was declared, there were only 1,000 members of the CPP-NPA. By the time, by the middle of the martial law period, there was about 30,000.
If I do recall, it actually reached to the point of of an extreme amount. They raided the PMA armory. They had
About 30,000. So how did the dynamic work that way? So you kidnap some people, tortured them, and then get information out of them, and then release them. When they're released, they're ostracized by their peers in society. Why? When you're released, you're thought of to have divulged information about some others and surrendered names. So what do? You no longer have a home to return to or friends to go to. What do? You escape to the mountains
you
and
join
join the
CPP.
NPA.
Not just that, you have to remember that it was not just the NPA that was fighting against Marcos. It was even there was even Kovdelyeva independence groups.
There were a lot.
There were a lot.
A lot. Nearly everyone were going against martial law.
Because here's the
Even
thing.
his technocrats.
Students, people who have moderate positions that they're just calling for legislative reforms, they're calling for reforms. Once you push them against the wall, they'll see no other choice but to turn to extremism, to radicalism. And the thing is,
That's true.
it's happening now. People are being pushed against the wall, so of course people will start joining in from what they could see where they will succeed the most, which is through violent revolution. Especially now.
Of course, when a person is at his last hinges, and you're threatening him at the very corner of the room, when he's about to die, a man who's about to die with a gun to his face doesn't just die quietly. No, he will attack all he has left.
If
with
they
all
still
he
have the
has
will
left.
to fight, they will fight back. Because
That is a human, anthropologically true. People will always fight back to the last of how they can.
until the spirit is broken, until the spirit or the body breaks.
Always.
Because
This is why.
this is why you can't meet extremism with counter extremism.
One of
Yes.
you is bound to break.
One of you is bound
Oh,
to break.
of
Sort of
course.
like with tolerance. Excessive tolerance, on the other hand, can lead to
Goes-
extremism.
Can also lead to banality, which is also evil.
It's not just that. Complacency. I think that's in.
I can't find it. I've been trying to look for that website for 15 minutes now. I can't. The excerpt from the
Which?
conjugal dictatorship of Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos. There's an excerpt in there of the autopsy of Liliosa Hilao.
And then mine, share.
No, I can't find it. I sent it
I mean,
to First Master way
what
way
you
back.
remember?
What do I remember?
mean-
The autopsy is her body was thrown at the front of her parents' house, and they labeled it. I don't know if it's suicide, but her digestive system was melted by muriatic acid. That's how they believed she committed suicide. But then how they treated her body was her eyes were gouged out, her skull was broken in half,
Hmm.
or horizontally. Her brain was removed,
That's
and
What's
then
this?
Was this out
What?
of like near
what?
near torture or just like
Torture.
No,
she was
it's
she was a
almost torture.
desaparecido at first, and then
Mm.
she was returned as a mangled corpse. She was
Oh.
a youth leader from UP, I believe.
wait, when was this?
Marcos
Martial
era.
law period.
Oh, this was during martial law.
Diosa Hilaw.
That's like a very horrific way to go. The fact that your body's actually being they're taking out the very parts of your own body.
They
I
they
think
they
she
removed her
died of the
brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, she died in that first, and then they treated her body like worse than livestock.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because what they did was they were basically desecrating the systems, the entire organs. Was it kind
Diosa
of like
Hilaw was a Filipino student activist who was killed while under government detention during martial law and is remembered as the first prisoner to die in detention during the period. She was a student of communication arts in Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila.
Hmm.
The first. And then many more would come. Who the fuck is echoing?
Lamonaco.
Echoing?
Lamonaco.
Really,
Wait,
really,
I'll try.
bitch?
Oh,
It's too strong.
We can hear ourselves. The demons are back.
The way it's echoing is so bad. It's echoing even after a minute in.
Yeah, it gets it gets bothersome sometimes.
Yeah, you can hear your demons. They're saying, "Hey, buy some apples."
Even my demons are getting annoyed.
But that's a good thing.
My demons are very annoyed.
Your demons
That
are
doesn't
very
sound
annoyed.
kinky. That does not.
Yeah, that doesn't. No.
That doesn't work. Doesn't
My
work. Code.
demons want something from you.
Eat shit.
They
That's
want
like
you to fucking
that's like
die.
that's like trying to seduce an innocent bystander. Like, I'm going to take your soul.
I'm going to take your soul and drink it like a Capri Sun.
No, that doesn't work.
Play my video games.
Do you play my video games? I'll show you a good time.
Oh my god.
That's
Okay, I
basically
cannot
plot.
contribute to this discussion.
Oh, so
No,
I
let's
found
not
this.
contribute. I'm not going to contribute to this.
I found a website of many of 4 stories of 4 women who suffered during the martial law period.
Hmm.
Oh my
Purificacion
god.
A. Pedro, Puri
Best
sister of
Master
Aurora Pedro,
Control
was
yourself.
performing her duties as a social worker when she was caught in a crossfire while visiting Bataan in 1977. She was taken by the military to the hospital for her shoulder wounds, but came out of the hospital a cadaver a day later. The military claims she committed suicide inside the bathroom of her hospital room.
Ah, yes, very much. Because all we know is that they
28.
got horny.
Of course, it's always suicide. Oh, whatever else would it be?
That's kind of like in America back in those days. It's kind of like a black criminal dies. They decided to lace cocaine in it. Okay, he died of a drug overdose. Let's get out of here. That's like a Dave
And-
Chappelle joke. Let's sprinkle some crack on him and let's get out of here.
Angie Ipong. Angie Ipong's husband and brother were both abducted, imprisoned, and tortured in the 1970s. Ipong herself was abducted and imprisoned in 2005. She spent 6 years in prison under the Arroyo administration and was released in 2011.
What
Angie
the hell?
Ipong now works with CELDA, an organization that helps political detainees.
Hmm.
She's 60 years old now.
That's really horrific. Are those those the 4 stories?
Christina Catalia, 26 years old, birth 1950,
90.
was abducted in broad daylight along with her friends in Makati, 1977, despite numerous appeals by her family asking authorities on her whereabouts. She was never surfaced, even after the end of martial law. She became a
Oh.
desaparecido.
Hmm.
And there are many more. If you see the names of the martial law memorial, there are a lot of people still missing.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
already like a sign of. I think if
But
I
the
recall this,
ones,
me
the
and
ones we know.
okay, Here's the
What?
thing though. Cocaine was in this situation as when we were first entered into SLU. It was our first day. Because they had the programs for freshmen, like we were entered into a hall, and like we were having a good time, and then this lady showed up, talking about the NPA,
Okay.
and then everyone started tearing up, and that was the last thing we heard before we had to go home.
What was she saying about it?
She was trying to promote that do not to join the NPA because the last thing you want to do is become missing and your family will find your corpse sometime
Well,
later
yeah,
in the near future.
that's not a lie.
It's not a lie. It's kind of true. It's meant. It
But
was
maybe the
for the
way
best.
she said it is so malicious, like don't join, like virtue signaling.
I mean, she kind of demonstrated her experience as an NPA. She was
Oh.
there when it happened.
So why were y'all
Hence,
laughing? Why were
oh,
y'all
we were having a good time because the seniors
oh.
were actually giving us like good representations, and they were actually really creative about how the programs work, like certain
Uh-huh.
courses and what to expect. But the moment I saw all of this, right, I was thinking to myself, this is sugar coating. I know it.
What's sugarcoating?
This is I can't say this because this could also lead to me getting kicked out of the university. There
So
are
you're
some
making light of it.
shady
You
stuff
make light
going
of
on
this.
there.
There's something shady going on in your university.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's just enough. But the thing is, I'm
Plot,
not going to make it a
plot. Do you
rumor.
know anything about it?
Mm.
I've said it once. I'll say it again. There are reasons and tangible reasons why I don't like universities.
Hmm.
I bet that's one of them. They call it projecting. Like, oh, you don't just like just don't like universities because you're envious. Oh
I don't
no,
think
no, no,
so.
no.
No,
My
no, no.
mom
I
was in university. I would know. What's up?
Here's the thing. The only thing I can come up with, and I'm not sure if this is true because the last thing I want to do is spread rumors. It's corrupted in a way.
Oh,
What is it exactly? What's the nature of this?
I want to make a comment, but I can't because I'm.
Cause
We're not.
Cause what?
Can they trace this y'all in
Maybe,
reality?
maybe they can. I shared this on
Maybe.
my fucking Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You
and
can't.
like
You cannot.
this is and like the issue there is the last thing we want to do is become whistleblowers and end up like COVID conspiracy.
Is it from every student enrolled involved in that?
No, it's
No.
mostly the issue is the administration.
Administration issues.
Oh, okay.
So
That's really
so
that's very private. Never mind.
yeah, we shouldn't go there. Yeah, but anyways, back to the topic. It's kind of still horrific by the fact that people went missing like
Are
in
still
those times. Yeah,
and
and like the horrific part is they were never to be found again. Only two things can remain: either they pursued a new identity, which is kind of impossible in the Philippines, but it could be. It could be a one aspect, or their bodies are disposed uh,
Mm-hmm.
in a very unknown location, never to be found again. And
That's
for and that
basically a
was-
desaparecido.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
mostly one of the chances are the moment you start constructing a building, one of the chances are you find a buried corpse there. That's just a 1% chance of it happening.
Anyway,
Yeah.
since we're talking about women oppression,
Yeah.
we can move this over to feminism.
Yeah, actually,
The
let's
feminist
proceed
movement.
to feminism.
Oh, we didn't divert. I was still talking about female desaparecidos.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't divert, but did I say divert? Okay, can't remember my words anymore. Let me just take more coffee.
Wait, you're doing coffee at
Mm-hmm.
like 10 in the evening? Why?
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
fucking-
he's already immune to coffee.
Actually, to be fair, I just finished like a small portion of peanut brittle, and it's really sweet.
Dude, dude. I hand grind my own beans.
Is that a flirt, or is that you trying to be a pervert?
No, and I hand grind beans, for fuck's sake. I get the beans in bean form and turn them to powder. That's what I'm saying. I turn coffee beans into coffee grounds. What do you mean by a flirt? No, I'm saying shit literally. I make
We
coffee.
would assume you were flirting
God.
again, the same way you were flirting with, oh, I don't know, what was he saying earlier?
You want to touch my beans?
Oh god.
God damn it!
The fact that Cocaine is explaining how he grinds his own coffees to them is basically him hiding. I just finished making meth. Okay, so the way you explain how you grind your coffee, right, is kind of like a nonchalant way of saying I just finished making a batch of meth. A nonchalant way of saying.
Oh god damn it, Lemonica! Fuck you!
Lemonica!
I don't want to hear the demons! Okay, I muted him on my end.
What's
I'm gonna have to mute Lemonica
What's
too.
happening?
Hello?
The demons are coming back.
The demons are
They're
here.
telling me to make
They
meth.
always come.
Wait, wait. Is it?
You know how bad the echo is? I can hear myself, and I don't like it.
You don't. Yeah, think, my guy.
Wait, do you think it's the microphone problem or the computer problem?
I am not tech support. Hello? This is not tech support anymore. This is Indian coffees and preserves.
Hello, hello.
Wait,
God damn it. I can still hear
Can
myself
I
a bit.
order tech support?
Anyway, what are you
Okay.
talking about before you guys thought that me hand grinding my beans was something sexual?
When he was talking about a certain topic,
Feminism.
that
Feminism.
yeah, but then
was.
we decided to
We're
put feminism.
I was?
No. You
No,
were
no, no,
still
we
you were
were.
still on topic.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
were still
we
on
were
topic
still
about
on
something.
topic.
We were
We were smoothly transitioning.
Yeah.
Smoothly.
It's a bit rough though.
Yeah.
Quote
It's a bit rough.
It is still
just the
echoing.
way people like it.
I don't know where we are now. I'm just searching reverse traps on Google now.
What?
What?
One here,
Yes, you-
give me some sauce.
Yes, from martial law victims to reverse traps. We're going great.
Indeed, we are doing
What?
great.
Oh, my screen is beautiful now.
Some?
Yes.
Oh
Hey,
god, I can hear the
according to
demons again.
Wikipedia.
This
The
is my
demons-
coping mechanism. Shut up.
The demons are back. Anyway, on feminism.
Let
Okay,
me
okay.
have this.
Yeah, one here. Just enjoy your
Okay,
reverse
so
trap.
anyway,
Just enjoy family.
feminism.
Yeah.
Alright.
On the topic of feminism.
The topic is now about feminism. It is a range of social movements, political and ideologies that aim to define and establish the
The Monica, we're in a podcast, not in a class.
of the sexes.
Plots
We
to
know what
explore
sexual
in a
feminism
equality
class.
is.
Anyway.
We know what feminism
Now let's
is.
move on. Now let's.
I
move
discussed
to
this
what
topic
is
4
actually
fucking
happening.
times.
Well, I'm sorry, one here. You're gonna have to discuss it the 5th time, mate.
Yeah, you're gonna.
God damn it.
Anyway.
God damn it.
Okay, so anyway,
I am not going to. First Master was
Anyway,
there
let's-
in class.
First
let's give
master.
our own
First
uh,
master
Well,
should
we're not
be
mates
doing the
though, so-
explanation.
Yes.
We're not gonna
Yeah.
Feminism-
mansplain
You do.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah. Feminism. We all know that it started in the United States, right? But for the fact that
Are you
feminism.
sure? Okay, wait.
Yeah,
First
yeah.
master, are you sure it started in the States? No, it started
No,
in
no, no.
France.
I mean the movement of feminism.
It started in
In
England.
France. Yeah, it
Oh,
started.
in England. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
England, the
Oh, fuck.
suffragettes.
I already forgot
It
the
was
lessons.
popular.
Wait. There was actually a guy who started feminism in France.
Ça dit the French Revolution. Viva la
Yeah,
France!
I am
Viva
not
la
kidding. A
revolution!
guy. Wait, what the hell? Oh.
What?
Wait, why did I went to Google Scholar?
That's beautiful.
Okay, what?
Sorry. Mm.
Sorry.
Okay, so anyways, we talk about the topic of feminism.
Yes.
First, Pastor.
Yes.
Okay, you're saying.
Continue, please.
Wait, in his Republic, Plato advocated that women possess natural capacities equal to men for governing and defending ancient Greece. Not
Yes,
everyone
he did.
agreed with Plato when the women of ancient Rome staged a massive
He-
protest over the Oppian Law, which
I think
restricted
that
women
was
access
from
to gold and other goods.
wasn't that from a play of Aristophanes, the Lysistrata?
Hmm. Apparently so.
The women protested against the men for going to war too much, that they couldn't bang, so they had a sex strike.
Yeah, Sparta.
In the
Yes,
book,
that was. I
yeah.
think it's the Lysistrata. Was it based on a real event?
Uh,
Oh my god.
that I cannot say.
So apparently there's
Uh.
also this is basically so what I'm reading right now is basically the briefness of it. So
Uh-huh.
it was Plato, and then in the 15th century, Christine de Pizan wrote the Book of the City of Ladies, which was
Yes.
basically the role of women in the Middle Ages.
That's it. Just
Yeah,
just their role, and it's not a utopian
Yeah.
novel or
Just
book.
later during the Enlightenment, writers and philosophers like Marguerite Cavendish and Duchess of Newcastle upon tide.
I have a book right here by the Madame de Sévigné. Her letters or correspondence urging a lot of intellectuals during the Enlightenment to correspond with queens and princesses. I
This is
also
kind of
have
weird.
I also have Pascal's La Pensée and
Pascal. Wait, specifically Pascal who?
Blaise Pascal.
Oh, Blaise Pascal. Okay.
His book, La Pensée, my copy has his correspondence with the Queen of Sweden, which also contributed to the Enlightenment and the scientific revolution.
Oh my god. Oh my god, okay, you're right. He
Scientific
is into
revolution.
Western philosophy. I give up.
No, what's happening? I'm
It's because one Theo, I'm
Talking
studying
about,
philosophy,
we're talking
but
about
as of now
La
it's
Pensées.
Western.
If you want to call it studying, I have a lot. I just have a lot of books.
Sadly, my interests are not of Western, but of Eastern studies.
Oh yeah, I am super interested in Eastern studies. I have Hindu and Buddhist books too.
Yeah, I have Zen and Zen Classics by Frederick.
I
Frank.
have the Rig Veda and the Jida Krishnamurti.
Oh my god.
I had one. I had an Eastern classic book too. It's
Yeah.
in
What
the
is it?
office.
Yeah.
It's the
The
one that
Office.
talks about Indian Jesus, basically.
Oh,
Forgot
Is it
about
a
it.
wait? What is it?
Ian Jesus, let's go.
wait.
Is it?
Let me.
He's
let
the
me
guy who's
search-
born into the world specifically to kill all the demons.
What?
Wait, I'm gonna
Now
search
that's the-
this
now
Indian
that's the
Jesus.
first demon
And
slayer.
then he killed the demoness, if I recall, by sucking the life out of her tits.
Is
Wait,
it
wait, wait.
Hindu?
Wait.
Oh.
I just found something. Wait.
Oh, he sucked her breasts? Is that what he did?
He was a baby who was being breastfed. The demon put poison in her breast milk, and then
Oh wait, no. That's not Indian Jesus. That's Krishna.
yeah, I call him Indian
Krishna.
Jesus because he's sort of similar in that
Krishna.
regard that he was here to save
Wait
the
a
world. But
That's-
except instead of
that's-
being
Because
crucified,
the
he came here to kill
role
people.
of
That's no.
because
Krishna
that's the
is
role
like,
of oh
in
no, that's
Muslim.
the role of
No,
Vishnu.
not Muslim.
Wait, no. If
He
I'm not
was sent
mistaken.
here to kill everything.
No. Vishnu is the preserver. He's the one that preserves. Yeah, that's why. Hence his name. He kills evil.
I'm not super big on Hinduism. I'm more into Buddhism.
Oh really? What kind of Buddhism?
I like how we're now discussing philosophy.
Yeah,
Various
because
texts.
I mean
I-
Well,
technically,
feminism is a philosophy.
feminism is a
Is a
philosophy.
philosophy,
So
yes.
yeah. But we're not.
Various texts I
We
have
could
the
talk
Buddhist
about this in a
scriptures.
separate podcast one day. So
I
we
have a
more
Buddhist
material.
scriptures book from Penguin
Okay,
Classics.
so
Hmm.
do we go back to feminism or no?
Where the hell is
We can-
First Master?
The
can
first
keep
master
going.
said
Shut
no.
up, but
We can keep
she
going,
would,
really.
she
Yeah, okay.
should, we
Yeah,
could
she's
keep
the one that
going
came
and
up with this
discuss about
topic.
feminism, but we would just be mansplaining.
Yeah, we'd be mansplaining.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Ah,
We're
and
all guys.
And everyone knows that context and and actual words do not matter. Your gender does.
What do you mean?
Really?
What does that? What's that
Plot
supposed to mean?
64, why are you
That's
sexist?
sarcasm. That's sarcasm.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
So I
it kind
have-
of is.
I have the Tibetan Book of the Dead right here, right next to my Egyptian Book of the Dead.
Oh my god, man.
And the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying by Sogyal Rinpoche.
Noise.
So if y'all are interested, my books are your books too. Y'all,
Funny
y'all
enough.
can borrow some.
Funny enough, I actually got a certain philosophy book that is not for school, but it's about
What is it?
the Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka.
Oh yeah.
Morphosis. Wow.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I have so many books. I have so many, I forget that I have them.
Wait, this is a library?
Yeah, I have about 5 shelves.
you're like the guy that's made a library, and it's all the
If
books
y'all
you've
want
read.
if y'all
Someone
want
entered.
sources, I can. I'm here. I can provide some.
Alright, finally, she's back. The master,
Okay.
the first master.
But unfortunately,
You
she
see,
speaks
Okay,
no evil because her
so,
mic
First
is
Master?
muted.
speak
Master,
no
can you
evil,
hear us?
hear no evil.
Yeah, I can now.
Where the fuck have
Okay,
you been?
so would
I don't know, my
Would you
laptop
like
and
to-
internet and everything else is just bullshit.
Really, bruh?
I'm sorry.
okay. So
So,
would
like-
you like to give us a definition of feminism? Would you like to do that for us?
But
Yep.
upon your understanding, of course.
I thought you all know what feminism is.
Yeah, but we
Well,
want to
our
know what.
audience-
we want to know what you want.
Oh,
But
yeah,
we would just like to know how you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our
okay.
audience may not
Okay.
know it.
Yes.
Okay. For the audiences who have an idea or feminism, it's about making women being equal to men, which is actually the culture of, I would say, Philippine, because in the context, the Philippines, where we have the patriarchy. It existed for a long time, and of course women wanted to be treated as equal as, and be recognized as also part of the country, which
The
they
government
can
process,
do.
is that it?
Not just that, I think it's for the Philippine society, because we're built in a society
So
where
society as a
men
whole.
succeed more and then can do more than women. So yeah,
Yep, that's a reality.
women just wanted to be equal with men. Okay.
Well, in the first wave of feminism,
Mm.
I can't speak about the second wave because I didn't do much research on it.
Yeah. That doesn't really.
I know a lot. I know about the first wave, but not the second or third. I know about the first, not the second.
Oh my god, who's echoing?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
La Monica.
Is it Lamonica?
I don't know.
The delay was incredible.
Coke, do you know about the second and third wave of feminism?
I'm only familiar
In,
with the
in,
third wave.
in the third wave involves with the LGBTQ
Yeah.
Oh wait,
It's
I
community.
remember.
Is it the third or fourth?
the most
Oh, the-
recent
oh.
one, yes.
Oh,
It involves the LGBT, yes.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, the third
The
wave.
second wave was the sexual revolution of the 60s.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
First
feminism.
wave was
Mostly
England's
strong.
suffragettes.
The third wave.
Yeah, suffrage.
Backlash against the second wave in this.
I think yeah. I think that the continuation for the second.
It's basically
I
the
don't-
continuation of the second. wave.
Yeah.
I don't know if they want a more radical force or what.
If I'm not mistaken, though, the issue with feminism is it's too radical in a sense.
Some of it.
Today?
You only hear
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Yeah,
radicals.
it's some parts.
Some.
Yeah.
Some of it.
Aspects of it
Some.
are too radical.
A lot of people, because here's the thing: loud idiots are always the ones that are heard instead of the people who are actually doing the work. So
Mm.
of course there's gonna be negative connotations. For example, outside of feminism, there are examples such as in gaming, where the people that you see that are in gaming, the caricature is often a fat, sweaty, nerdy people who are both white, sexist, and racist all at the same time.
Yeah.
Because they're the loudest minority, they're the loudest of the community. Sort of like how with radical feminism is the loudest, has the loudest voice, but they're a minority compared to the people who are actually fighting for feminism.
Mm.
Because feminism right
Thus
now,
creating stereotypes, right?
yeah, that
Yeah,
creates stereotypes.
okay.
Because feminism right now is not just focused on equality between men and between female, on women's rights or LGBT rights. It also includes men's rights, if I recall, because they want to dismantle the thinking that men cannot be raped. Because they absolutely can. We can absolutely.
They can. I think I've also recalled certain YouTubers that have that.
Yeah, because you can be sexually assaulted as a man, and most of the cultural stigma is that you'd like it anyway. So why would you do that? Because, yeah,
I don't think so because the issue there is that there's also the idea of consent that you didn't sign up for the fact that you want to be.
there should be
You know.
consent between both parties. That's the
Yeah.
important part there.
I think the stigma stems from why they don't accept male rape as rape, is because when the man gets raped, right? The trouble, and then the female gets pregnant. They will only assume that all the problem stays with the female and not the male. The male gets nothing out of it. But then there's still the trauma and the what do you call it? The
The
consent
emotional
that
scar.
isn't involved. Yes, the emotional scar.
Sort of like
Yeah.
let's look at the perception. Okay, let's backpedal a bit. Let's look at the perception of female teachers who slept with students. That's the true
Oh.
rape. If a male teacher does it with a female student, it's always rape.
Yeah.
It's always rape. That's the label that's used. But if a female does it, if a female teacher does it, it's always had sex. Had sex. It's always a softer language, and I think that should be dismantled because rape is rape. That's the current
That's-
motto.
Yes,
There's no
that's
such.
Uh,
It's always
that's the
rape.
agenda of the media.
there's actually this was actually a thing that I've recalled from one of the professors who did law. So as long as I don't know if I can explain this in detail because it's YouTube. So as long as you don't penetrate that certain barrier when you're in the intercourse, it isn't considered rape, and that's apparently one of the things that he taught me. It's kind of like a lawyer type case of defending someone in the case of either false rape or rape in general.
It's sort of like
Yeah.
what I remember is that people think that false rape accusations getting into trial is a common thing. It's actually pretty rare.
It kind of is rare.
And then here's the thing: because of all the stigma against reporting rape, there is a stigma, and the system is shit. Not a lot.
Mm.
A lot of the rape cases go unheard or unnoticed. It's hard to report a rape in most countries, even in developed countries, Germany, U.S., Canada. That's why people look at Sweden and think it's the rape capital, but in reality, Sweden has one of the most efficient rape systems of reporting it.
If I'm not mistaken, there's actually a statistics back then of a country with the least rape victims. Wait, let me just search it up if it's still relevant today.
Because something on the Wikipedia page of third wave feminism, Western feminism does not have the monopoly of resistance against masculine domination. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But if I recall, that the fight for feminism is less of what the fuck is that?
It's plot. It's coming from
Ooh.
your end.
What the fuck is that? Did the aliens invade us already?
No, I think it's the fan trying to close
What
his
happened?
PC.
What did you hear? What
We
did you hear?
heard the aliens. They're coming down.
No, cocaine.
I'm
You're
alone in a
mistaken.
room,
That's
in a living room, and everyone is almost asleep.
Is that a fan plot?
Yeah, I guess that's a fan.
Yes, it is a fan. Yes, it is a fan.
Plots
Very. If you
PC
do not
setup
know, it
is
is
so
very
poor.
hard in here
Wait.
in my
Okay,
province.
don't
Plots.
say, don't say, don't say where you are.
Right.
plots plots
Okay, so
PC build
Okay,
is
so
so poor. He
continuing
had to
on
use
the
a fan
part
to
that
cool it down.
males can be raped.
Okay.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
males can be absolutely raped.
Because rape is rape. And then the
Yes.
definition of rape is very simple.
Yep.
If it's non-consensual, it's rape.
But there's a stigmatization. But there's a, you know, there's an idea that men would. There's like a weird idea that men would enjoy it for some reason.
Because what happens, a
And
man can only be raped.
does feminism present? What does feminism present with a solution to this?
Oh Jesus!
Any
I just
ideas, guys?
What do you
I
mean?
went. It went from the statistics of least rape cases to highest. South Africa is apparently the strongest.
I can't really discuss feminism as if it was a written down philosophy because it's so dynamic and it's
It's
hard
still-
to.
It's still a lie.
The issue there is kind of like feminism is more of like a political type
Feminism
philosophy.
has undergone a massive
Because-
change within the
Polit-
within 20 years.
politics-
Yes, I agree.
It's less a philosophy now
more
and
political.
more of
Yeah.
a movement.
It's more of a
Yes.
movement now.
There's also a it's also political ideology. We studied this in.
How do you
Mm,
pin that
political
down,
ideology.
really,
Yeah.
to discuss?
Oh my God, the echoing is
La
bad.
Monica! La Monica!
Wait.
Is La Monica using a phone or a laptop?
God damn.
Because I want to know.
I want to start. I want to start a commune because of
Your
this.
phone laptop.
I want to start a narco-transhumanist what the fuck is transhumanist? Are we making
Wait.
cyborgs?
Wait.
Humanist?
Hold
What
on.
the hell does that mean?
I'll be right back.
Okay, so next.
Looks like it's just you and me, Coke and Plot.
Alright.
Why is
so
everyone in music
continuing on
time?
this
We're talking
podcast,
about feminism as a political ideology and a movement. It
Yeah.
first began as a philosophy, really, but now it's more than that.
now it's more. It's more.
has evolved.
It's something more within the past 20 years. We
of
see
course,
it.
because does it have a canon to read about? This is for the audience, for us to give them the necessary readings over feminism. Is there a canon of readings to formally learn about feminism?
There's a
So you know they won't get diluted
we
by.
cannot say.
So they won't
Cannot
get.
say whether there is a canon, because no, like we said, it is dynamic, and we cannot trust our sources right now to down trustworthy
No,
definition.
there is.
No, there
As
is.
a movement,
I'm sure
as
there
a
are.
movement, in a political ideology, it began as a philosophy. That philosophy
yeah.
would have had bases.
Feminism has already diverged into a lot of different. So it's sort of like what happened
Yeah,
with
that-
communism.
Yeah,
Of
exactly.
course.
It has
So
already.
all I
shift-
can suggest to any listeners who are still here is Simone de Beauvoir. That's really it.
Oh,
It's
also,
na Romanera.
No,
Okay, is
that's
that
she's
guy's
French.
name?
she's French.
20th century.
She's French.
Oh,
you
she's
baguette.
French. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry if I don't know. You may cuff me now.
What the fuck?
I have the second sex right here. I remember what do you call it? Highlighting one of the most important parts of the book, which I randomly came upon. Y'all go talk about other things. I'll go look for it.
Okay, sure. Okay, so
What are
anyway,
the things with
Jesus, I'm surrounded by books.
Good for you.
imagine that your room smells like old books, one here.
It
That
is.
is a
It does.
pleasant.
It.
Mine
That is
smells like
a
coffee.
pleasant smell. That is a pleasant
envy.
smell, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
mine
envious.
smells like coffee.
Did you drink coffee?
No, I have a lot of. Yeah, I'm drinking coffee right now, but I have a lot of coffee in my
Oh,
room.
here it is.
Oh, okay.
Chapter 2 of The Second Sex by Beauvoir. The psychoanalytic point of view.
Simon Beauvoir. Oh yeah, I remember the guy.
Simon Beauvoir.
I'll just read it out for all of you. This, to me, is the most important part of the book. The
I'm
tremendous
excited.
advance accomplished by psychoanalysis over psychophysiology lies in the view that no factor becomes involved in the psychic life without having taken on human significance. It is not the body object described by biologists that actually exists, but the body as lived in by the subject. Woman is a female to the extent that she feels herself as such. So there's that.
One of
That's the main highlight.
You dumb it down for the audience and for me also.
Okay.
the woman.
She's discounting the claim of biology that woman is only a woman because she has a vagina, or any other stereotypically or biologically claimed organs that a woman possess in women's sex possess. So to her, a woman is more of a mental I wouldn't say condition, mentality, or even an emotion, or state of
then
mind.
gender
wouldn't-
is,
I don't know how to
there
put
is
it
more of a
without
label.
making it sound
It is
like
a
a
label.
mental illness.
So
It is
what
a-
she's
is it a
trying
label?
to say,
I guess more of a
he
state
plays
of
it
mind.
upon
What are we talking about?
Do you think this is problematic?
yeah,
or
a
what?
label
I was watching a video
based on
about
our
baby
biological physiology.
boomers. Are we
yeah.
talking about gender all of a sudden? Sex and gender?
Okay,
Like, what-
let's just go.
The writer said, love. What's the writer's name, Wanyo?
Simon Beauvoir.
Beauvoir.
Yeah. Basically, she said that gender is only a label.
Yeah, because there's a distinction between gender and sex.
The second in the book, The Second Sex. Let me just continue what she wrote.
Go ahead.
There are biologically essential features that are not a part of her real experience situation. Thus, the structure of the egg is not reflected in it, but on the contrary, an organ of no great biological importance, like the clitoris, plays in it a part of the first rank. It is not nature that defines woman. It is she who defines herself by dealing with nature on her own account in her emotional life.
Huh?
Oh.
There's that. That's the whole paragraph.
So, would that apply to males?
Yes. Unless you begin in the thesis that a woman is only a woman if she is born as a woman, which in case, I don't know. I haven't read the whole book.
Oh.
So if it's just a label in a state of mind, that would also apply to others, to the first sex, right?
Wait, first sex? What does it mean? What can you elaborate
the
that for me?
Oh, the second sex is her phrasing for women. The first sex is what I call the male because of
Oh.
course.
Not like out of malice or anything like that. We just called it first sex. He just called it first sex.
Yeah,
Well,
because
I call it the first sex because she called it the second sex. Whatever. What else would there be?
there's also a book called The Second Sex.
What
that's
the- I'm gonna go search for that.
So,
What?
what she
Oh
said.
yeah, it's also by
essentially-
her. What the fuck?
What?
The Second Sex.
What?
Look,
The
Beauvoir.
first.
The Second Sex.
The second sex of. Yeah, it is by Beauvoir.
Yeah, Beauvoir.
Wow.
Simone de Beauvoir. It's such a
So
This
Uh,
writer is starting to become my favorite writer.
Simone de
So
Beauvoir.
assuming that the first sex is the male, to her, being a female is just a label in a state of mind. It has nothing to do with biology. But that's
Actually,
assuming that we claim from the first paragraph, because it's a really long paragraph. It's y'all task to work into that, not mine.
I mean, so we're talking about gender identity here.
essentially, destiny is within our hands.
Yes,
To put it
yes, I will
lightly.
not read the whole thing. That fuck that.
We should just have like a side podcast where it's just one hero reading books.
I can read. I can read books. They actually motivate me to read more. It's been a month. I have not finished this 700-page novel.
Anyway, since we can branch out to this, since this is part of the feminist movement, the
Yes.
sexuality, because there's a difference between sexual identity, which is your organ,
Which is, yeah,
biology, and then
basically.
there's gender identity.
Basically, if you have a hole or
One
you
of
have
them,
sausage.
one of them is biological. I
Yeah,
hear.
sex is biological. Gender is
There is not.
gender is
Yes,
what
yes.
you have.
But
There is
would that-
basically what you see yourself as. What you
would it
want.
also make it a very complicated thing if you happen to have a genetic issue?
Like being
Yeah, you
a
went from
hermaphrodite.
yeah, basically.
Hermaphrodite, yeah. You have the features of both male and female.
You have
Yeah.
mommy parts and daddy parts by Zip Frank.
Wow. Wow,
Yes.
that was profound.
Zip Frank is the best.
Zip Frank.
You sexually
how a Z Frank do.
identify as a deer,
Gender.
Or-
gender-wise.
or you sexually identify as an attack helicopter.
Oh, stop attacking me! Come on, man.
Essentially, that is.
I actually put it on a Gmail account where
How
I
can we not attack it?
What?
because I identify I jokingly
Actually,
identified myself as a
define
Apache
it.
helicopter.
Gender identity is essentially what we want to be, what we see ourselves as.
It's
Yeah.
also
So basically,
based
it could
on
mean.
attraction.
So basically, it could mean like anything or anyone.
It is. That's what's happening these days.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
That's what's happening in American woke culture.
But it's really good though if we're gonna
And
accept gender identity.
Then I hear in like 2017 there are more than 100 genders.
That's
Oh,
how it's gonna be
yeah.
with them.
remember.
The exact number.
Of course,
The
if
exact,
it's a
the exact number
free-for-all.
is 144.
I forgot.
If
There's
it's a
actually
free for all, go.
There's a weird fact about Russia where I don't know if it's a thing. It's kind of like you can change your ethnicity.
Yeah, you can be anything. So then a bunch of
Ethnicity.
people call themselves Jedi.
Ethnicity?
Yeah, and then there's the rest of either
Okay, that's
also
sort
call
of a
themselves
stretch.
chair.
What the hell?
My ethnicity
That's
is
sort of a
share.
stretch. That's sort of a stretch.
It's actually true.
Yeah,
Not
yeah, yeah.
kidding. Russia has, you can list down your ethnicity as anything in Russia for some reason. So there's actually a sizable portion of the population that call themselves Jedi.
No, that's amazing. But that's sort of a stretch.
So about gender, since how many are there? 141?
44.
I've lost
identity.
sort of it in 2017, but there may be more now.
140 something. That's gender. But
Wait.
then, of course, part of woke culture, they're having biological sexes involved now.
Biological
Honestly,
sex?
gender identity.
How does that work?
How?
No, they're since it's a free for all for gender, they're assuming, hey, why even believe in biology? It could just be anything you want.
That's essentially
Honestly,
what,
it's sex.
what's
is
happening.
happened
in
with-
America. And
It's
feminism
for
defends this.
transgenders.
No,
Feminism
not all of
defends this.
not all of feminism. Feminism defends.
We
gender
can't
identity.
generalize. We can't generalize
Radicals.
modern feminists. There are so many of them.
Yeah, there's so many of them because the feminist movement has essentially become what the communist movement was back then. It's split into so many. There's syndicalism. These are communists. These are offshoots of the socialist movements. By the way, I'm not talking about feminism. With feminism, there's radical feminism, eco-feminism. I'm just waiting for them to have weird names, just like syndicalism.
Feminism.
You can't generalize, but
can't
the
gen-
gist is, why even attack biology?
Most people, most sane people. Monica, your voice is so soft. Maybe because I.
Wait.
No. He's actually talking soft.
Okay. I'm gonna have to
I
increase
don't-
your volume.
Yeah, we
So
don't hear the
anyway.
demons. We don't hear our demons
Hello.
yet.
You're still
Yes, we can
talking.
hear you, LaMonica.
You're quite soft.
So anyway,
Oh,
he sounds
so adorable and unthreatening.
Same with One Hyo. You're suddenly very soft.
I will kebab you.
Oh my god.
okay. So anyway, about
LaMonica and One Hyo are being
Already
kidnapped
attacking
right now.
Biology though.
Anyway, so to gender identity, for what most people know about, like, what most people know about the gender identity of a person, there's just like one, but in reality, there's like, I'm gonna have to show this neat image of a genderbread person.
I'm sorry, huh?
A genderbread person. I'm not kidding about this, by the way.
He,
Go
he
to
sexually identifies as
gender
red.
bread person. What
I
does that
found
mean?
it when I was searching what is gender identity. Look at the sex dungeon.
Oh wait, is this like the gingerbread thing?
Yeah, the
With about-
gingerbread thing.
What the hell?
Oh my
Okay,
god.
so basically, gender identity is how you think about yourself. Gender expression is how you demonstrate your gender. Biological sex is the
I never thought
objectively
I'd-
measurable organs.
I never thought I'd see this
Sexual
weird
orientations is
concept
who
again,
you
but
are.
alright.
The eagle stays. By
Okay.
the way. I'm
Is
not
it-
removing that. The eagle stays.
Okay.
He's going to watch. He's going to judge us.
Isn't
yeah.
Okay, let's keep going with this. So, all of these elements, let's put this in practice. How would this work in a person? This would be an
Okay.
extremely confused person.
gender identity would
It's
be how we think.
basically that's what we were talking about. Gender identity is how you think about yourself.
Yeah, it's how we see ourselves as. So
Yeah,
basically, I see myself as a helicopter.
But let's
You
be
can
more
say-
serious. Gender identity.
You can say anything about that.
Because gender is less of a 1-2 thing. It's sort of like ideology.
Sort of
It's a
like-
spectrum. Even though I actually put the fact that
Or-
my gender in most of my Gmail accounts, I put all of it as Apache attack helicopters. Gender, and let's be
Seriously,
more
but in
serious. I'm not joking
seriousness.
about that. In all seriousness, gender is more of a spectrum between what is a man and a woman.
Only in
there's-
between
There are-
that.
Yeah. And there's also
Since we have said that man and a woman, male, female, are just labels that we say upon ourselves,
there
what does
are
that mean anymore?
That's our gender.
But how do you
What does that mean?
how can you be more woman? How can you be
Woman.
even more woman? How?
Ouch, my head.
I don't know. Why are you asking me?
Exactly. That
This
is
is
why
my-
we're only working in between males and females.
We are basically.
That's why
this.
we're not including the far off. What the fuck is an Apache helicopter? Okay, what's the gender of that? Is that like, are the
What
missiles
the fuck is a
penises?
Jedi?
It's somewhere.
The gender is the missiles penises? Is it cum? What is it?
Therefore, are we only working under?
I'm
Are
sorry.
we only working under the
Only
basis
telling
of
like-
between
and we are
dicks
already
and
tearing
vaginas?
apart this gender identity. We're already
Yeah,
tearing it apart.
the way that cocaine suggested that an Apache helicopter is like what? Identified as something, right?
Is
So like,
shooting penis missiles.
no. So like the engine is kind of like the insertion. What does
The engine is the vibrator. It's built in.
Oh no! Here comes the Apache gender identity helicopter. It's gonna get away. It's gonna circumcise us.
Hey, Duterte
I can
identifies
hear.
an Apache
I can
helicopter.
hear.
When do I get my missile transplants?
We're not even 5 minutes into the gender identity, and we're already tearing it apart. I love it.
Anyway, apart from gender identity, there's also gender
Seriously.
expression.
Yeah, I think the what
Their
we were talking about
expressions.
earlier is like
So going
expression,
back
yeah.
to the definition, how we
We're only
demonstrate
working-
ourselves and our gender. So if I dress up with a jacket and pants, I demonstrate myself as more of a masculine than
I
a
think
feminine.
this is a bit more problematic in the more modern sense, considering the fact that we're already starting to throw the idea of masculinity and, and
Labels.
feminine. We're throwing away that
Yeah.
label away. We're just being ourselves. Like, you want to dress in a spot in a skirt? Go ahead, be Scottish.
What do you mean?
Let's
There's
go.
actually like a couple of people who went to school wearing girl uniforms. And
What's
mind you, these were guys.
Mm-mm.
I
This
want
was-
to wear I want to wear a kilt to school.
I want to wear? I want to
Go
wear.
ahead.
You're going to be
wear,
Willy.
a
Go
robe.
ahead, you're allowed, I guess.
No.
Want to
You're going to
wear-
be Willy from what's this?
I want to
From
wear
The
like
Simpsons.
You're gonna see my penis.
What?
The secret of fighting your enemies is to blind them.
Anyway, on a more serious note, gender
Okay, so
expression
anyway.
seems to be more of something that will go away soon. Not really in the sense that it's
Yeah.
gonna be obsolete. It's just sort of think about because people are now less inclined on believing you're a man or a woman based on how you dress and talk.
I
Because
actually remember having to deal with that
Yeah.
before.
masculinity, in the sense of traditional
This is
masculinity, there is such a thing as traditional masculinity and traditional femininity, but that's not permanent and that's not even linked, and that's linked to the culture of a person. For example, I'll give a weird definition. I'll give a weird comparison. Romans hated pants. Ancient Romans did. Pre 3rd century, they hated pants. So if you wore pants, you weren't a man. You were just a crazy guy.
Pants.
So
Hmm.
basically, right now our current perception is that if you wear a dress, you're a woman. But then back then in that time period, if you wore a dress, what are you? Fucking barbarian? If you wear a dress, you're a normal person. Basically toga. I'll call the toga dress. Fight me.
I mean, no, not really. It's kind of like it doesn't even look like a dress. It's kind of like a robe hybrid between a dress.
Are we working under the dynamics of progressivism?
Progressivism.
No, if I'm being honest.
Honest, I don't know.
Is it just for the sole benefit
I don't
of
know,
just
and I'm afraid
just
for us.
being
And
just
I'm
being
afraid to say.
progressive for the sake of being progressive?
If I'm not mistaken, I actually thought going back to that topic about like how women can be the only ones. I think Terry Crews was also groped before. There was a case.
And yet, oh yeah, Terry
Yeah.
Crews was broke and he had to do some questionable things.
Yeah. Because the issue there was was because someone else is of a higher position than him.
He can
He's an
easily-
actor. He may be an actor, but there's someone higher than him.
That yeah, possibly a director, and then
Yeah, it was
He got
probably
exploited.
a director. Yeah, it got exploited. But the issue there was that the reason he didn't come out is because he feared of being ostracized.
because have you seen Terry Crews?
Yeah, he's a black.
He's
Built,
the
both
emphasis.
man.
He's basically
ripped.
he's basically the peak definition of a male of the traditional male person. He's basically
Mm.
what it could be, like at its highest point. Because he's jacked. He's jacked as fuck.
Yeah.
But then you find out this guy actually breaks a lot of the stereotypes of toxic masculinity.
There's actually here's also the issue. I think Nick Offerman, because of the way he is, he was sometimes mostly accused of being too masculine because of the way he is. That's his like natural voice, the way he speaks, his idea that woodworks is is an ideal idea for like. Oh, sorry, I have to sneeze. Sorry.
Nick Offerman is very much a traditional. He's the reason why he thinks woodworking is the
Yeah, because
ideal male job because it's his job.
Yeah, because it's his job.
And
But
then,
like, but
Yeah.
like, it's not the
The
case.
ideal job? I could
No,
not
no.
hear. What's the ideal job?
it was the ideal male job, woodworking. Why are we
But
talking
that
about?
can't be the
woodworking?
case.
Why are we
As
talking?
long,
Anyway, let's keep going with this because we're talking about gender identity anyway.
yeah, but because it kind of is on that position because Nick Offerman kind of is the definition of a masculine symbolism. I mean, hence his idea of woodworking. What else? The fact that he's a very serious guy, and we can also look back on the idea that that he also had a personal fan of Mr. T, who was not very toxic with his masculinity, right? Wait, are you guys speaking?
No, we're not. I'm currently
Right.
trying to get.
Bro, we're listening to
Because-
you. Please go on.
Yeah, like Mr. T was also like a famous bouncer, right? But yet as tough as he is, he still has those principles of like respecting your mother, treat treat others appropriately and all that. That's kind of like sense of he is a man, but he doesn't take it to the point of I am a man. I should take this as my responsibility.
Yeah, he's basically not becoming a chauvinist.
Exactly. But like, I don't know if I can talk about this. If it's still relevant. Have you ever heard of this movement called uh wait,
It's called.
Men Go Their Own Way?
Oh, MGTOWs. Okay.
MGTOW, yeah.
It-
That's
yeah,
also one
basically
topic to put it
going
there.
independent from any woman or man.
Yeah,
Oh my
but my
god.
issue is that one of
Really?
my friends kinda was in that movement and he experienced not he experienced majority of them are being I think I don't think it's the right term. They mostly hate women.
Yeah, MGTOW sounds like the incel breeding ground.
Yeah, but the issue there is that he didn't want to be part of it because his principles are he just simply doesn't want to date a woman because he doesn't feel like a relationship would go anywhere for
Yeah.
him. Hence why he joined the town. But then he left.
Because it's actually...
He only found certain principles there, but I can't recall
Wow,
what he told
this
me.
is actually pretty sexist.
I mean,
It's a male supremacist ideology. They
Yeah,
believe
yeah, yeah.
society was destroyed by feminism, which is
I don't think so. It's
a weird
it seems
thing.
to be the other way around.
Yeah.
Well, that's
If I'm being honest.
that's like radical.
Because when you think about it, who are the ones leading in the COVID defense? Who are the ones leading in COVID
For the
prevents-
defense, women
Wait,
Wom-
are they?
women
Are,
leaders?
are we allowed to say that?
and presidents. Yes, we
Yes, we're
can.
definitely. A lot of
We
people
can.
are
okay.
pointing
Is
that
it
out.
mansplaining?
Okay.
Sort
No,
of.
no, no. It's no,
Is
no, no.
mansplaining? No.
Because
think
of like
about it.
censorship as of at the moment, it's kind of like an issue.
Well, we've already said
Oh,
Anyone who
yeah,
censors
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
racist.
We've already said the C
sexist,
word. Fuck.
genderist.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about
But
it.
let's just keep going.
But
Go,
anyway,
go on.
most of the people leading in the defense against the virus, I'm not
The
saying
virus, yeah,
the
yeah.
virus,
Yeah, the
Louis
are,
virus.
Mice.
or women leader.
Mm.
Mostly
New
women.
Zealand,
Let's say females.
and then what are the
They already
guys?
themselves cured of the virus.
The virus.
Virus.
Virus. It's VARUS. YouTube.
Virus.
Please don't
Virus.
censor us. Virus. Anyway, about the virus, the reason why women leaders are leading in the prevention of their country being infected, I'm not sure why. Honestly, I don't follow why. But they've
It's kind of there's like a weird idea that I don't know if this is the truth because
It's
most
attributed
people
to the
would
fact that the
Okay.
governments handed the reins over to their health divisions
yeah,
because
and
most of the
it just shows
because
that
most of those
it just shows that
it just shows that
the women leaders are just as, and if not more competent than their male counterparts today.
I mean technically yeah because like this could be a weird thing but I think psychologically most females are more emotionally capable. But that's just a thing. It's just a thing that I can recall from lectures in when I have to do face-to-face class and all that.
Yeah, people there's this stereotype that women are weak, but then in reality, we're just
They're
equal.
they're really strong. They're technically very capable compared
We're-
to
let's break the
We're both
women are physically weaker than men, but they do not. But that does not mean that they are weak spiritually, emotionally,
yeah.
or
That's the thing.
yeah, that's the thing though.
Here's the thing, and here's
Yeah.
the thing: people train their minds and their bodies for this, to gain power, or like
Women should not be
gain,
excluded from leadership roles because of their identity,
Hmm.
because of who they are. Because when
It-
you're
it
looking
should
for a
be-
leader,
it should be given as an option.
it should,
Like
should
them.
because here in the Philippines, our own president has has a stigma against women leaders, despite the fact that even though they were pretty terrible, our women presidents, they were
They're
better than
still-
him.
Yeah, technically. Yeah, that's kind of
If I recall,
But
Gloria
yeah.
was the one who led the country during the SARS epidemic, and it wasn't hit. Was
Much,
it
pretty
Pinoy?
much.
Gloria Macapagal.
Is it
I think
Gloria
at
or
that time.
Pinoy? SARS. I can't
Arroyo
remember.
Macapagal, Arroyo.
Sorry.
I think there's virus, but
Gloria's economic policies were actually really quite good.
Yeah, it was just overshadowed by the fact that
The coups, the what else?
everything. Yeah, SARS.
Almost everything else.
Yes,
The economy was
okay.
quite alright during her time.
And it just went to shit with the Pinoy, and then it went down the toilet. It went into the subway
Okay.
system of Makati, and then just flushed down into hell with with the current administration. But that just goes to prove that women are indeed just as capable of leading, because a lot of people still don't believe that.
Hmm.
A lot, especially the older generation.
Yeah. But like, from what I recall, this is also like the thing that comedian Trevor Noah said. Like, it shouldn't be the older people that should care about politics. It should be the youth, since it's like.
It should be people who actually understand what their problems are in this day and era.
Yeah, because a lot of
Yeah.
because a lot of the conservatives refuse to recognize that the times are changing.
If the conservative politicians or officials don't want to lose their job, there is a solution. Get the youth to participate in the job
So
in
anyway,
in
Yeah.
developmental building.
to make the long story short with this entire thing, TLDR. Why don't we let First Master do it this time?
Yeah. Since
She
this
can
is kind
she
of a
can
dedicated topic.
do it
We're-
now.
Yeah.
We're gonna
So
let
that we-
specifically with that part, I'm gonna say that women can lead. Women can do better than they thought they could because of a great downgrading with our gender and or I mean our existence for generalization. That it's not just about exercising for celebrating for Women's Month. We should celebrate that women are women, and as a part of that, as part of women, well, in general, I think that we should continue to fight for what we can fight for still, because until now, even that we recognize the power and the women empowerment, I can still see the oppression that most women still unfortunately experiencing. And I just hope that all the listeners, and of course even those who don't know about this podcast yet, that we should not downgrading women just because of whatever they thought we are. It's summarization for that. So yeah.
Degree equality.
Cholera.
Did I say something long? But yeah, women are women.
And just to add to that, we're doing this not just to. This topic was chosen not just to celebrate Women's Week. It was also to recognize the troubles that accompany. There's still a lot of sexism in the Philippines, whether we would like to recognize it or not. There's still a lot of problems with it. Sexism is not just limited to discrimination against women; it's also against men too. And we should join hands in fighting against that.
Yes.
Also, can I just add that to actually combat and see change, we actually have to apply ourselves into having change. Can we just not try to leave the problems be?
We have to be the change that we want. See, it's like a shitty quote, but it's pretty relevant.
Can we just not leave, please? Can we not change our nationalities and abandon the ship?
If we want
When
to
the
change,
When the ship
We
sinks,
just
the
give a shit
first
about our own country, OFWs.
to be honest though, a
when
lot
the
of our-
ship is sinking, the first things that escape are the rats.
But let's
Wait a
be
second.
honest though, the reason why people leave the country is not because of the fact that they don't want to stay. It's the
Wait,
fact
I
that
just came
the
back.
economic
Is the podcast still going on?
yeah, the podcast. The economic condition is pretty bad. But we can reserve this
Yeah.
topic for another day.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have an anger against OFW. So anger should all be directed towards the government that have failed us.
Wait, why?
Oh no,
what's with
my
the topic
anger
of
is aimed
xenophobia?
towards OFWs who are willing to just change their nationality.
Oh, the ones who
Just
abandoned
because.
the country. Because
Yeah.
a lot of OFWs want to stay,
And that
don't
their
want to stay in their
nationality,
country. They want to
Filipino.
go back to the Philippines.
Huh.
Before
Oh,
we leave,
wait,
I'm gonna say something. I have a grandfather that died a few years back. I'm not
Yeah.
close with him. He shipped his body from America. He had his body shipped on a plane
Here?
to get here. He wanted to be buried here. He couldn't
know-
leave because he was too old to fly.
I mean, the thing is, it's like, even if you did kind of like die in the country, it's kind of like the best that at least you remain like. It's kind of like that Skyrim concept. I'm sorry, we'll bury your, we'll bring your body back to or whatever race you did in Skyrim, right?
We're gonna bring you back to your homeland. Because here's the
Yeah.
thing, we'll reserve this topic for another day, and we'll leave with this note that loving your country and leaving it for the sake of economics is different from leaving it because you hate the country.
I mean, the point of leaving the country is to pursue something and then come back and share the knowledge.
Yeah,
Not
you come
just
back. You
have
come
it
back.
to yourself.
You come back to the Philippines and have your life. Have the rest of your life here. So let's end with that note. That
Yeah.
don't be angry towards your fellow citizen if they're not doing anything wrong. Be angry at the government and the people who keep us in this shit conditions. Anyway, we're gonna end the podcast, and this is your host, Papa Cocaine Sesage.
The first master. Happy Women's Day by
The
tomorrow.
only woman. The only woman.
Alright, now we have Plot 64. Lemonica unfortunately left
Late
because he was
one.
teleporting us to hell.
Yeah. And you have
Like
your
you
fellow
don't-
loving wanderer wandering worlds.
And with that,